Welcome to Intelligent Trash Talk Radio Show. I'm your host, Baz. In the booth with me, Jody. Seeing back off his whole month hiatus. Tez, Mars. If you need our government, hit the website. You know, you can get everything there. But we're going by big things from here going on out. We're going to try to get through this segment. Mars has really got to load stuff up. That's what keep messing up the computer. So hopefully we can get through this month. But we got Riley Cooper in the hot seat today. We're going to talk about basically this whole racial situation. I'm going to ask y'all boys a question. When the last time y'all been called a nigga? We're going to get into that. And for you callers, when was the last time you've been in a racial situation? You know, where things got a little heated because of race. We also going to dip into Greg Oden. A lot of you Heat fans out here feel like he's your new savior. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. A-Rod, I hear MLB is coming down with the suspension on tomorrow. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Facebook post of the week. My man John Roach was a little upset that John Wall said he was the best point guard in the league. So we're going to talk about that. We're not going to go to commercial. We might as well just go into it because actually nothing to do. If you go to commercial, we ain't gonna have no stuff. So, Greg Oden signed a 2-year deal with the Miami Heat. He's played, 82 games so far? 4 years? 4 or 5 years. Coming off of, they took the deal off for his knees, right? Yeah, on both knees, right? So, he's coming back, from what I hear in his, the combine and all that kind of stuff. So you had this up the whole time. They couldn't hear us the whole time. From what I hear, like he coming back from Marvin's wilding out today.
They heard you, yo.
Marvin, you sober? But Greg Oden, they said from his workouts, they said he's in crazy good shape. They said they could tell he worked, hard to get to where he is now. So how y'all feel about that Greg Oden signing?
How I feel about it? I feel about that. A lot of these sports leagues nowadays, they're real hype men of themselves.
Right.
They're hyping us some BS. Because pretty much, you have 2 micro surgeries in your knees, man. You know how bad that is as a defender. You're not really 7 foot. You know what I mean? So to me, it's an eye test. It's an eye test from.
See, why you make that face?
From it's gonna take us like 30 games to the season for me to really believe it. Because with that type of surgery, that bounce back, having to get back to be able to block shots and be in defensive position is not what people think. You know what I mean? The way he plays defense, he plays defense at a high level. It's like he's always in great defensive position, and the way he attacks the offensive player. I don't know right now, man. I don't see him being that big of an effect that anybody's making it seem like he's going to be. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot.
See?
Well, I think if he can stay healthy, I think he's going to be a major factor. For one thing, he's been out of the game for 4 years. But like Jody was saying, he's a defensive player. Defense is easier to get back in the groove of than offense. If you think about it, because defense is about effort.
Right.
So I think he could get back in the groove, but it's all about his health. When he got drafted, I thought he would be the best center in the league in a few years. Injuries derailed him, but if he can stay healthy, and like Jody said, it may take 30 games, but if he's playing, and I think he'll be a big factor for Miami, because what happened last year against Indiana can't happen again, or Miami may not be able to three-peat what they're trying to do. So they needed somebody like Greg Oden, and with him being healthy, I think is a major move, and we may see Miami in the finals again because of it.
I personally feel like Greg Oden ain't too much better than Chris Anderson. Period. Like I just think what you're gonna expect out of Greg Oden is not what you was gonna expect out of him when he first came out of college. You're not going to expect much more out of Greg Oden than what you expect from Chris Anderson right now. And to me, if he can be the Greg Oden that he was coming out of Ohio State, then that's a whole different story. But right now, I don't expect him to. I expect him to be maybe a little bit better than Chris Anderson.
Well, I agree. Well, this is the thing. He's a bigger body than Chris Anderson, much more physical defender, and much more of a presence. Chris Anderson, he's a hustle man, but his defensive presence, even with Greg Oden coming back now, just the size, mass, and the way he plays defense, it's a big upgrade defensively.
Now, my rebuttal to that though is Greg Oden, with his lack of, he's not as fast as or quick as Chris Anderson. He's not known as a hustle man, and I think in a lot of ways he's going to get in the way of the scheme that Miami tries to run. They trying to run and gun, put up threes. That's pretty much what they doing, running and gunning. So you're going to now start one of them, either Chris Anderson or, well, no, you can't because you're still starting Chris Bosh. Yeah. So now you got Chris Anderson and Greg Oden pretty much fighting for minutes. And I think at the end of the day, you're going to see that Chris Anderson is in probably better shape as far as what Miami wants to do. He's a 1 year more experienced than Greg Oden and what Miami wants to do. So I think in a lot of ways, we'll see. It's kind of like one of them up in the air type things. We'll see because Greg Oden, when he was playing left-handed, he was getting buckets left-handed at Ohio State too. So maybe he's been working on his offensive game as well. Kind of like how I see Derrick Rose. I think coming into the season, we're going to see a jump shot from Derrick Rose because that's all he's been doing is shooting a jump shot. Every time you see him, he's shooting a jump shot. So I think he's going to have a better jumper. So I think, when you get hurt, it's easier to work on your offensive game a lot of times than to work on your defense. So I think he's going to come back with hopefully an offensive presence as well to add to his defense.
I mean, personally, man, like I said, it all depends on his health, but I don't see it that big of a deal. Like, they make it more of a big deal than what it really is. So how much better is he than Joel Anthony? You know what I mean? Like, how much better? But we hope so. That's the problem. We hoping. But he ain't playing, so he ain't better than nobody when you ain't playing. Yeah, that's the thing about it. How much better is he better than him? Joel Anthony's athletic, at least. With his knee situation, if he can't get up and jump, his defense is shot.
But he is 6'11", 7 foot.
But if he can't jump, his defense is shot. That's the biggest part of his defense was being in position and blocking shots. You know what I mean?
Eddie Curry is
I don't see if he can't jump anymore. I don't care what he did on offense. Well, he's not getting the ball on offense. Let's get that out the way. It don't make a difference what Greg Oden do on offense. He's not getting around.
But he could
not getting around.
Even if he can't jump he can't jump how he once did. He still gets position and so forth. That's major. And think about how you talk about Chris Anderson. He was a non-factor against Indiana. Put Greg Oden in there. He could have some type of impact on checking Hibbert, getting rebounds in the post. Like, they were getting dominated and almost lost that series because of that.
Yeah,
you bring somebody like Oden in, I mean.
But see, the problem with Miami then was we say bring Oden in. They just needed a big body, period.
Yeah,
that was the problem. Like, Greg Oden is not what they need.
When you look at it,
they need an athletic young big body.
Yeah, I agree. But the thing is, Miami added Oden. Indiana added Scola. they added, you know what I'm saying? It's other pieces. They got Danny Granger coming back. They got C.J. Watson, which is whatever. But you know what I'm saying?
They added some pieces.
They added some pieces that when you come back with an Oden, it's like that might be really, really good, or it might be Eddie Curry all over again when Miami, signing Eddie Curry.
I was
hoping. What if he hurt? What if he get hurt again? 10 games in.
Yeah, and that's very possible.
And the thing about it, he's going to play in the preseason, so therefore that's a good chance he's going to get hurt again. And that's always rolling that dice.
Did he get hurt one time in the preseason?
I think so. Was that a preseason? Was the first couple games of the year? Something like that. It was something very early. Well, I would like to see Miami went and got some young, out of all these players that played in the summer league, right? I see some young, bigger guys that normally I didn't know existed.
Right.
I want Miami to go get one of those guys who's athletic, that can run, that can play some defense, and kind of work with that guy and build him up.
I just think they should get more shooters.
I would have rather them get Oden to do what you said, Jody, because for one,
Lamar.
Huh?
Lamar. You said Oden.
I would rather them get Oden than one of them dudes in the summer league because. Even with his knee, like we said, it was questionable out his knees. we still know he's a body that can play defense. Period. You know, and they needed that. That's important. Miami needed that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're trying to three-peat. I don't see them three-peating with that team
They're not gonna.
But how much they needed, they just won a title, you know? Like, again, like, Indiana gave them that scare.
Right.
Yeah, they still did away with them.
But the Spurs gave them that scare.
At the end of the day, like,
Yeah, they did.
At the end of the day, LeBron got 2 or 3 big stops that he needed against David West or whomever was in the post, whether it be Paul George trying to get, and that's all they need. At the end of the day, if y'all keep it close and it comes up to LeBron or anybody else, it's in Miami's favor.
Right.
So that's my point. If you get more athletic and younger, because you got Haslam getting older. Haslam does a lot running the floor, getting dunks, getting nice little pull-ups. Like you said, that running system they run.
Yeah.
They need guys who can get up and down.
I'm gonna say this because we still haven't we still haven't been able to debate the era. Remember I said the worst era of basketball. If Miami does three-peat, that will even strengthen my argument that they're able to three-peat with. Okay, if you take all three-peaters, which is only LA and Chicago, right?
Right.
Okay, so you got Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen at their prime, or towards the end of their prime, but still good players, very good players, even in the second three-peat. Shaq and Kobe in their prime. If he can three-peat with Dwayne Wade as he is, you know what I'm saying, and the team their team is worse than it was last year. Like, you know what I mean, on paper from what it's looking right now.
Yeah, I believe so too.
If they can three-peat, how bad does the league look?
But what, I'm
not sure about how bad it looked. It just, again, like I said a long time ago, it showed the separation from LeBron at this point in his career
and everybody else.
You know I think that's more of it because think about it. OKC, that was a good team. Like they could, and then the Spurs they beat some good teams.
And Kenny, you know what though? This is what I call about everything come full circle because it looks like it was better, but I honestly. Michael Jordan's was the second repeat they played against Seattle, I think.
Seattle and Utah twice.
Seattle's nothing but OKC. Like when Magic went out, they hurt a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Like Kobe's going out, it's hurting a lot of stuff. It makes the second player look that much inferior to him. Like at that point, when Magic went out, everybody was inferior to Mike like that. You know what I mean? Isaiah was gone, Magic was on the way out from A's. Who was left? The young guns. GP and all them and all that type of thing. So it's pretty much the same thing. It pretty much is the same thing. I look at it, it was pretty much the same thing. I mean, the second player is now an old guy. Kind of like, it was with Magic. Kind of was when, it seemed to be the same thing repeating over again.
No, but even with Mike, you had the Clyde factor, where Mike had to prove, but Mike felt like he had to prove that this dude is not in my league.
But that was just more star power because of free agency is different now. It was just more star power. But it wasn't necessarily Clyde was declining at that time, y'all. I'm sorry.
No.
He was. He was declining. Yeah, as far as the athletic part of his game, he was declining. He got better as a jump shooter then. I seen Clyde. He's declining at that point. Yes, he was. He's on a great team.
Think about
the team. Think about the team he was on. Think about the team. What team was he on at that point?
Blazers.
Think about their squad. Think about their squad. It was 9 deep, yo.
Terry Porter.
It was 9 deep. It was 9 deep. It was pretty good.
They were a great team, but he wasn't
good. It was pretty good.
But the thing is, we just saw that. Kenny, what you talk about with Michael and Clyde, how was the debate and Mike had to prove his point. We kind of saw that with LeBron and Durant. Because remember, LeBron didn't have his championship yet. And people I
disagree because Kevin Durant came to play.
Yeah, but he got outplayed.
Clyde Drexler.
Yeah, Clyde went to bed. Well, Clyde went to bed, but I'm saying as far as LeBron, he had to beat this guy because neither one of them had rings at this point.
Right.
And they if LeBron loses to Durant, he jumps ahead of him as the next man up after Kobe.
Right.
So
I just think, we're going to debate it. I think we're in the worst era of basketball ever. I really do.
Ever?
I think it's the most exciting era of basketball. And when I say ever, I gotta put this out there. Whenever I say ever, I mean since I was born. Since I was born. I'm not talking about you know what I mean? I'm talking about the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and then the 2013s, 2000 on, 2010 on.
Modern era.
I think these 3 years is the usher in the worst era of basketball because when you look at the draft that just came out. It's just boring draft. You don't see. But each draft got an all-star in it somewhere.
This might have all. But I'll say next year's draft is gonna be loaded. And you know what I'm saying?
We say that, but then like I just said last week, you got Andrew Wiggins, who has the height. Well, he has the athletic ability of LeBron James, but can't pass like LeBron James, can't facilitate like LeBron James, can't shoot the ball, can't handle the ball. So you talking about a wing player that hopefully can play defense, because I really ain't seen no defensive highlights. I seen him dunking, but
LeBrons and Jordans and guys like that come around once every. I mean, every draft they gonna have a player like that. You know, Andrew Wiggins. Like, he had a lot of hype. He could be the next big thing, but that don't mean he gonna be LeBron.
But the thing about it is, after Jordan, you had Kobe. Kobe was busting Jordan towards the end. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of ushered right into Jordan, and then the AI, then the T-Mac, and then LeBron came right from Kobe. Now we have nobody. It's looking grim.
No, you got Kevin Durant, you got Derrick Rose. You got to think, is at different positions now. Point guards is like the big thing.
And
now.
that's why I say we're in the worst era because
so the point guard?
Because of the point guard. And the reason why I say that is because the point guards aren't winning anything. The point guard that's the most winningest point guard is the one nobody talks about in Tony Parker.
Well, but at the same time, I mean, they're not winning anything because you got a LeBron James in the league and Kevin Durant.
So when you had a two guard. Well, we had the center league in the 90s. It was the centers, right? You had Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, Alonzo Mourning,
and who was winning?
Shaq Mutombo.
Who was winning?
Jordan was winning, but when Jordan left, centers won.
This is what I'm asking you. This is what I'm asking you. What point guards were winning in Jordan era?
But it wasn't a point guard era.
Okay, I see how you.
You know what I'm saying? It was a center era. As soon as Jordan took a step back, Hakeem got his. Then David Robinson started winning his.
You just made a perfect point.
Okay.
During Jordan era, it was a center era.
Right.
Centers weren't winning the ring.
Right, but at least it was in the finals.
During LeBron era.
Tony Parker, he just did it.
Exactly. That's the one nobody talks about. He's not even considered top 5. We kind of put him in top 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, I consider him top 5. I think Jody considered, but you know the world is not considering him top 5. You know what I'm saying?
Well, now they do. But Russell Westbrook, he was in the finals last year and lost to LeBron.
Kevin Durant was in the finals. That's how we look at it. That's how we look at it, though. You got
to play the same position. I do too. They play the same position. I look at it that way too. I mean, and that's what's going to take, Kenny. You saying it right now. I just think we see the changing of basically evolution of basketball. Who's going to be the next big thing? We don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's always been, like you said, it's always been appointed. The next big thing, and that person will live up to it. Thank God for LeBron living up to it. Right. If he didn't, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
If he didn't live up to whatever was coming,
then
it would be the worst era in the history of basketball.
No.
If he never lived up to it. LeBron never lived up to it.
If he didn't live up to it, think about it. That means Kevin Durant will have a ring right now.
But he's not considered yet. I mean, he'd have had it so early they would consider one of them all-time greats, even though he would have had a ring.
And I'm going to come out there and say, I don't think Kevin Durant is that good.
Whoa.
And the reason why is because when Russell Westbrook went down, Kevin Durant was not the Kevin Durant that we know.
That's not that. Whoa.
That's how. The reason why I say it is because whenever Dwayne Wade is not out, it seems like Miami is better. When he's injured, Miami is all of a sudden.
Nah, trust me. They are not better.
And I'm not saying
Dwayne
Kevin
Wade.
Durant to me is the second best player in the league. But like we're saying, the disparity between Kevin Durant and LeBron is to me is like
okay.
No, it's not that big to me. It's only rings.
No, it's a separation to me.
Not that big.
But this is what I'm gonna say though. Do you think LeBron would have won this finals without if Dwayne Wade didn't play at all?
Yes.
No.
When Dwayne Wade is on the floor, it don't matter how hurt he is. It don't matter how injured he is. Dwayne Wade is a presence. That's why when he was like, we got all shooters on the team, I think we're better.
Y'all gotta remember, Dwayne Wade played bad. Was it game 3 and 4? He played bad, terrible.
Something like that.
They probably might have won if LeBron had his team, quote unquote, his team on the floor. Is him and all them shooters.
He had that in Cleveland. He couldn't win. I want to hear that.
Exactly. He didn't have shooters like that.
Yeah, Bowie was good. He had Mo Williams. Mo Williams was good. Good shooters. There was some good shooters.
Kevin Durant lost to Memphis. I'm not really gonna say it wasn't his fault. I mean,
James Harden.
It was just me and Johnny throwing the jabs at each other because if you gonna knock, other players for it, then knock your player.
I think it was his fault.
And
the reason why I think it was his fault is because I forgot who was. I think it was Johnny who said it. He came out the first couple of games killing. Going off, starting from the game, killing, right? And when it comes to fourth quarter, he has nothing left. that to me is like, yo, you're not ready. You're not mature. You're not mature enough to know to pick your spots. Now, you should be a student of the game to know. Watch Kobe Bryant. Watch Michael Jordan. Watch people when they had to take it all on themselves, that they didn't just come out and try to score 40 in the first quarter and do it themselves.
See, I'm different than that. See, what's happening with OKC, and this is why I tell Johnny and whomever OKC fans, and they're not going to win a championship. Half of it is Russell Westbrook, because down the stretch he wants to be the guy that does it. But beyond that, because he's capable. Mm-hmm. You know, he's very capable against certain teams. Mm-hmm. So, but beyond that, I think it's management. They messed them up. They messed OKC championship up because they centered their team around what? Beating Miami. But one thing everybody know about the West is it's very lengthy, big guys that can do things. You have to get out the West first. Right. So now they got a team that supposedly is fit to beat Miami with Ibaka down low and all that, but they can't get out the West. Right. Because they need Ibaka to do something to get out the West. Because it's filled with bigs. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the James Harden effect. If he's there, you don't have to worry about that in the West. Because now you got to match up with them, 3 on the perimeter, which nobody can do. Right. So they had a team, championship-laden team, because they lost, everybody panicked. Oh, no, James Harden didn't show up, man. What was he, second year in the league?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Really, y'all? San Antonio, one of the most pressure-filled games you will ever play against, the teams you ever play against. He iced them out. Mm-hmm. You got to get credit for that. That's my problem with people and fans nowadays and all that. They don't understand the maturation and evolution of the game. That happens and he didn't show up. Man, he beat one of the most pressure-filled teams in his second year. He cold veined San Antonio. Yeah. He got no credit for that. Yeah, then he comes to Miami, he's the GOAT. He the GOAT? Really? With KD and Westbrook on the team, he the GOAT?
I don't think
so. Now he the GOAT? This is my problem with teams listening to the media, listening to the fans too much. If they just would have stayed patient, they'd have been in the championship this year, putting up the trophy.
I think it's more.
And that's what sucks about them.
I think it was more OKC fans and, like you said, management putting blame on Harden more than like people who weren't. Like we all said, Harden didn't show up, but at the same time, Kevin Durant couldn't guard his position, which led to Harden checking LeBron in the post. It was a lot of things
going on.
And that's why I said. That's why I said I don't believe he's that good.
My thing is,
and when I say I don't believe he's that good, to put it in perspective. He's rated, a 96 on 2K? He should be rated like a 93.
Oh, no.
93. It ain't that bad. That's not that bad. It's not terribly bad. He should be 93, 94. He should be right there with Chris Paul. No. He should be right there, that level.
He's better than... I'm a Chris Paul fan, but Kevin Durant's better than him. I mean...
I think people give too much... You know, I got an inner issue against Kevin Durant because people call him a pure scorer, and they say my man Kobe is a ball hog. But look at my man Kobe assists all time, his career assists, and look at Kevin Durant's assists all time. You want to talk about pure scorers? Kobe Bryant is a pure scorer. Then
my thing is,
he got him like 2 assists.
I don't expect assists from my score. Why my score got to pass?
But the world does. The world calls Kobe a ball hog.
It's one player on the team. It's only one player on the squad that should be passing the ball, and that's the point guard position. My shooting guard is out there to score. If I got a Kobe, if I see Kobe score, I should pass him like, you seen a better shot? right. I'm like, what better shot you saw? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's just me, though.
Well, you see how we can get on a tangent. We was talking about Greg Oden, but we went all the way.
Because Greg Oden ain't going to make a dang difference.
20 good minutes, Greg Oden.
A-Rod, I guess the suspension is supposed to come down tomorrow for Major League Baseball for A-Rod. Just to give y'all a little, ins and outs about the situation. I guess if you've been watching ESPN, they were supposed to be working on some kind of settlement between A-Rod and Major League Baseball. But Bud Selig said, who is the commissioner of Major League Baseball, said that they're no longer going to negotiate with him. Basically, what they was asking him is, in the collective bargaining agreement, if you get caught with PEDs, your first offense is a 50-game suspension. That's the max. Mm-hmm. So they were asking A-Rod to lift that clause so they could suspend him more than 50 games, and he said no. So because he said no, they said they're not gonna, negotiate with him no more because they feel like this is actually his first offense. Mm-hmm. Really, mm-hmm. The first offense that everybody tries to charge to him don't count. It doesn't even count because the law wasn't even in Major League Baseball when that happened. Yeah, and it wasn't supposed to come out as well.
Tight about it, boy.
So that happened, and so I guess A-Rod said no matter what happens tomorrow, he's gonna appeal it, and I want to play baseball. I want to play baseball, and it's funny how athletes say certain things and it never come out what they really feeling. Like why are you saying this? Like, and it just came out yesterday that one of the big reasons why he want to play so bad is if he don't play, like say they issue out the suspension, he go for appeal, but they could either let him play or let him not let him play. If he don't play, he loses $34.2 million this year.
He's getting toward the tail end of his contract. And that tail end of his contract, it gets into them clauses. If you don't play X amount of games, you don't get your money. You don't make the All-Star game, you don't get a certain amount of money. You don't hit so many hits, you don't get a certain amount of money. So many home runs. It was built on that contract. I mean, he got it. He was in his prime.
Yeah.
And then toward the tail end, they're like, well, we know you're going to fall off, so we're going to throw this in. We're going to tell you it's a $300 million contract, but you got to earn the last $200 million of it.
Right.
And that's what really is backloaded.
And
he did it on purpose, too.
He's owed $25 million next year, which is they're trying to suspend him for this year and next year, the rest of this year and next year, and him not getting no money from it. So that's what he's fighting. So A-Rod's situation, I mean, do y'all care?
I mean, I don't personally care about it, but at the same time, I feel like that baseball is kind of like they pulling some hoodwink stuff right here. I don't like what they're trying to pull. Because if it's in the clause and it's saying he can't be suspended more than X amount of games, which he know it is, that's why he lawyered up and all this. And what can they really do?
Right.
I mean, they really force their own hand. Like, they can suspend him for 50 games, but he's going to be right back if he want to play.
Right.
From the looks of it right now. Of course, that can change if more stuff are coming out. But he's going to be out 50 games, still get paid, come back and still play next year. Is anybody going to want him? Probably not.
Right.
But at the same time, one team will probably take him.
Yeah.
So it's like, what can they really do? They try to negotiate this stuff so it wouldn't come out and everything could be settled. He would never play again. But for a player like that, $60 million ain't enough.
Yeah.
I mean, they said 80, he might have thought about it. But
Right.
60 ain't enough for a player like that who made that probably, in 2-3 years?
Mm-hmm.
If not more than that. So they're trying to tell him to just go ahead and leave. I mean, they get a player, a player who knows these players of stature with ego just to lead the game.
Wasn't they trying to give him a deal and then he didn't want? It was no negotiation, so that's what they said they're gonna give him a lifetime ban, or
I don't think they can give him a lifetime ban. I thought it was
not the lifetime ban. I mean,
he was getting a ban regardless. He was getting a 50-game ban regardless. They wanted to try to make up their own lifetime ban, basically, and say, take this paper and don't come back to the game.
I always felt A-Rod was a fraud, and a lot of players say it about him. Well, it's coming out now that players and Joe Torre said it in the book, and there's a lot of stuff where. He just seemed, even like Kenny just pointed out, how the reason A-Rod was going so hard to play this year is we're at $34 million.
Yeah.
And when he was doing his interview, like, I want to play, I just knew it was something else.
I did too.
I'm like, yo,
I did too. He's the most fraud athlete I've ever seen in my
he
life.
was going so hard. I'm like, it's something to this. And come to find out, it's $34 million.
And I'm a Yankee fan, man, and it's like, it's weird because now you hear he's still rehabbing,
Trenton,
so I guess he's done rehabbing. Yeah, he's in Trenton.
Still playing.
And he hit a home run the other day, you know what I'm saying? I guess he back. They said A-Rod back. But it's like, yo, you mean to tell me, okay, when the money's on the line, my $34 billion is on the line, oh, now I can look tip-top. I can look like A-Rod of old. That, to me, kind of just took me the wrong way. Like,
you know what shook me the wrong way? He's still playing with Trenton. Not that the Yankees still got him out there, but
well, no,
he thinks he need to go out there and prove to play with Trenton.
Well, no, he said that he's on his way to Chicago. Yankees play Chicago tomorrow.
It was on the bottom screen today. They ain't trying to let him do that. That's dumb.
Yankees
They ain't doing it.
Yeah.
My thing is that with the Trenton situation, he should take every other day off. Physical fact to take up a spot from a young kid. Like he really trying to put the pressure on Major League to bring him back. He's trying to show everybody in the media, everybody in the fans that I'm healthy. I'm playing for Trenton. That's how I'm sacrificing, y'all. That fraud stuff we're talking about. I'm sacrificing down here.
Right.
Have you ever seen any player like that ever in the history of the
I think
game
he's the-
that nobody ever likes? Like, nobody
nobody
really like him.
nobody
I would hate
likes
to come
him.
to his party. There's a whole bunch
Man,
of fake Hollywood people there. He got people at his party that's not even probably in Major League Baseball. That's probably like 2 Major League Baseball players at his parties.
But
You know what I mean? Like,
and this is the
he-
problem.
that's horrible,
And he's
yo.
talking like he said, I can't wait to see my brothers. I haven't seen them in
They
so
don't even
long.
like
They don't
him, though.
even like you.
He alienate himself.
And this
Yeah.
is the thing also. They said they got Major League Baseball has so much evidence against him. Like he was bringing other. That's why they so mad. He was bringing other players to come along to get the steroids or whatever they
make
are.
sure that air conditioner's on.
I think Major
Cool.
League lying though,
And not
because
cool,
if you
not
have
fan.
so much evidence and you don't
I think
want
it's
A-Rod
on
in your
fan,
game,
man.
why are
I'm
you
hot as hell,
negotiating?
man.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So why you negotiate? That's like negotiating with a murderer you saw do it. Like you're not gonna do that. You got all these evidence. You got so
Put it
much
on cool.
ammunition.
Like,
You're not
cool.
gonna negotiate with A-Rod and say, "How about you walk out the game gracefully?" We're like, "No, you're a disgrace to our game. You getting out."
But
Just like they did everybody else.
But they was talking about the reason they were. I don't really care too much about the story, but they were talking about on ESPN. I think it was yesterday about why they tried to negotiate with him. It's a reason because they said with arbitration or something, it'll be tougher to just try to get them to agree to a ban, like they want to do.
See,
So
I
they try to
disagree
agree.
with that though. I think the reason they trying to negotiate something is because they don't want the Yankees to get away scot-free with not having to pay him.
Exactly.
The league
They
wants
scared of the Yankees.
they want the Yankees to still have to pay him
No,
something.
because think about it. They ain't scared of the Yankees. If they lifetime ban him and don't pay him, the Yankees get to buy another big time player,
yup.
maybe even two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that puts them, helps them rebuild without even rebuilding again, and that's not fair to nobody in baseball. I don't care what nobody said. And I'm a Yankee fan
Well, I
too.
still think that's fair.
No, it's not fair.
Only because if you sign a player with a certain contract and you don't know the integrity of that player and they breach the contract, you should be able to get out of that contract.
In other sports, yes. But in baseball,
not
no,
baseball.
because how they have it
Okay.
set up. You
I
see what I'm saying?
understand.
Other
Okay.
sports, yeah, you got the players. You
This
in other
is
sports.
football. It'd be easy. They don't have a guaranteed contract in football. Baseball, they got incentive contracts where you perform this way. That's why Yankees is hoping ban him, ban him, ban him.
Right.
If you ban him, we ain't gotta pay him.
Right,
If we ain't gotta pay him, we're going to get somebody else. So Major League Baseball, what do they really want? Do they really want A-Rod out their league, or they want to hold the Yankees down?
I don't think baseball wants to hold the Yankees down. Honestly,
No, they
like
don't.
I don't think they do either. Because when the
they
Yankees
like
thrive,
when the
they make a
Yankees
lot of
do
money.
it. Yeah, so-
They make a lot more money when the Yankees thrive.
You seen the Yankees roster though?
It's terrible.
Oh,
It's
horrible. It's
Just
horrible.
watching them play, it's terrible.
They just
man.
paid
It's
Robinson
bad.
Cano that good money.
It's
though.
Robinson Cano, Chris Granderson, and everybody else.
Jeter.
Well, Jeter, he don't even play every game now because he's still.
And CC
rehabbing
be up
back.
there like he be up there pitching like I ain't got nobody to
No.
hit.
He
CC
probably
That's how he pitches. Attitude was like, yo, I don't care. I don't got nobody to
Yo,
hit.
he been terrible.
horrible.
Yo. Man.
These players when they have a good season or two after they get that money, they win. They're like, all right, cool, I won. Gotta keep my feet up and collect this $200 million. He got 250, right? Didn't he like 250, 300?
Something crazy.
And somebody else got almost 200 million too. They almost had like $500 million in 1 year on three players. In fact.
Well, we're gonna take a
AJ
quick.
Drew, AJ Burnett.
We're gonna take a quick commercial break. We come back. We're gonna talk about Riley Cooper, and that whole racial situation. Call in 716-703-8888. Definitely want to hear y'all opinions on all these topics. You know, really y'all can call in and talk about anything. I really don't care. But if you get off subject, I am gonna clown you a little bit. But we'll talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. 716-703-8888. Intelligent Trash Talk Radio Show, KJCM Radio.
Do you have a herniated colon? If you do, the last thing you need is another unrelated problem called overactive sweat glands. Then you're the guy with a herniated colon who also sweats a lot. That's why I use the clinically proven odor and wetness protection of Old Spice Pro Strength Antiperspirant. In summary, weapons grade, odor and wetness cockfight. This stuff works. I'm Jackie Moon, illegal. Also, I got a girl in here.
Intelligent Trash Talk Radio Show is brought to you today by Overdose Cafe. Guaranteed to bring you to a state of itis, an intense state of comatose caused by a massive food overdose. Head on down to 829 Main Street in Niagara Falls, New York for the best food in town. Or call in your order at 716-304-9000. That's 716-304-9000. OD Cafe, baby.
My name is Scott McGrath. The day before my 8th birthday, I fell in a pile of fire ants and suffered significant wounds on over 70% of my body. Since that day, I have made a solemn vow to kill every insect on planet Earth. I hate them with the passion of a religious zealot. Speaking of religion, of all the biblical plagues, I hate the locust plague the most. For the last 12 years, my white-hot rage has materialized in the form of my business, McGrath Pest Control. I have harnessed this unforgivable intolerance of insects and released the wrath of my fury on bugs in and around the homes of Houston. I will kill those bugs in any way that I can. Chemicals, my boot, my bare fist, or any other object that can end the life of an insect. Call 281-469-8240 and give me the honor of killing bugs at your house. I also hate rats and spiders. Go to McGrathPestControl.com.
Everybody sweats, but most people would be surprised to know that they sweat 6 liters per day. Now, I'm not familiar with the metric system or any other foreign language, but that's the equivalent of 300 gallons, I would guess. 300 gallons per day? Imagine that. That's a fact. Hey, cauterize your sweat glands shut. Ow! With Old Spice Pro Strength Antiperspirant.
Publicly Trash Talk Radio Show. You here with Baz, Jody, and Sing. Mom producing, Tez producing. We in here, man. Riley Cooper. I'm gonna get some facts on the situation, just in case y'all been chilling up under a rock somewhere or something. But Riley Cooper is a wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles. It ain't formal.
He left the team in Wisconsin. He left the team in Wisconsin.
But he's still on the team. He's still on the team. But I'm gonna tell you what I think happened as I'm telling the facts.
Okay.
Jeremy Maclin gets injured. The next day, Riley Cooper
Most
finds out.
important fact.
Yeah, Riley Cooper finds out that he's probably gonna be a starting wide receiver. Gets amped at practice. He goes to a Kenny Chestnut concert that night. I guess he got in a little altercation with a security guard, and his statement, and I quote, "I will fight every nigger in here." And my first thought was, why was it black people at a Kenny Chestnut concert? Like, what was they doing?
He's a security guy.
I know, but he said every nigger, but he pointed as if there was like some behind the fence or something.
That's that drunk talk. That's that drunk talk.
But,
He's seeing eight black people.
At first, he was just fined for it. He was fined an undisclosed amount by the Philadelphia Eagles, but it seemed like that next day, the pressure from the media, you know, he probably dropped a couple passes in practice, or missed a couple routes.
Marvin Harrison was come see him. That's what's gonna happen.
But it seemed to have forced the Eagles to take more action. So I guess a day later, the Eagles decided to discontinue him from all team activities, and that make him go to counseling, which I thought was stupid.
Well,
but
one thing, can you remember? Well, the video was like 2 months old, though, right?
It was 2 months
2 or
old.
3 months old. Yeah.
Like 2
Oh,
months
really?
Yeah, you didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that.
The video was old, but I guess it was old. So he actually put it out after Jeremy. Before Jeremy.
Oh, wow.
Maclin. But think about it. The Eagles kept him on the roster because Jeremy Maclin went down.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, that had a little twist. But when it happened, I guess his supporters was Mike Vick and Jason Avant. Why is that typical? Well, Mike Vick.
Mike Vick
better come to.
He forgives everybody.
But Jason Avant, I think Jason Avant was kind of like, he overly supported him. Like, yeah, I sat next to him in practice today because I can understand what he's probably going through. Like, why you need to tell us that you sat next to him in practice? Like, we didn't need to know that. But his opposers, so to say, quote unquote, was LaShawn McCoy, who's just like, yo, he lost all respect for him. Like,
all right, dog, man, nobody went behind him.
And Kerry Williams, who he sounded, he gave a real suburban response. He was just like, you know, I'm just getting to know the guy, and it's, you know, and he was like, it's hard for me to, I forgot the exact phrase, but basically he opposing it too. So I guess Riley's to go to 2-3 hour sessions. I was like, dang, that's long. 3 hour sessions
He's gonna be chilling for an hour
with an employment lawyer or human resource professional. But Roger Goodell, I guess he's getting a lot of flack from this. I know what's the black dude name on ESPN?
Marcellus Wiley?
No, the one that do The joint was 30 seconds. They talk about it for 30 seconds. It's
Smith.
on the next joint.
Black and stuff.
Mike Wilbon.
Wilbon, yeah. He was furious. Like seriously furious, mad about Roger Goodell.
Max Kellerman was too.
Oh, really? I didn't see what he said.
That's the first person I seen.
Yeah.
It's him being furious.
Roger Goodell, he issued a statement basically that the NFL was not going to punish Riley because the collective bargaining agreement has a clause about basically double punishment. Basically, if a team punishes a player, the league can't punish a player for the same offense. And a lot of people were like,
Hey, you know what?
Before you say that,
It is true.
because the league does step in and they say when they're gonna punish somebody. But what Roger Goodell said was that the Philadelphia Eagles punished him so quickly, you know what I mean, and he applauded them for being so hands on and being so quick. But what was you gonna say about it?
New Orleans same situation. They was like, we're gonna go ahead and fine these players. He still came down with suspension.
But
6 games for a GM for one. Why is the
law.
GM getting suspended?
But it's a back way to do it that he did it.
Yeah.
You know, he could have came down first if he wanted to, but he chose not to.
Okay.
That's where the law is walked a little different. He came down to New Orleans and said, I got evidence against y'all. I'm coming down, y'all. And the team tried to come down on them at the end.
Yeah.
It's true, but there's ways to go about it where they make it a little funny. You know what I
He's a
mean?
hypocrite.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing that people, I guess, is kind of overlooking is that Cooper is allowed to come back whenever he's ready.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I think a lot of people are overlooking. It's not like he's suspended for a given amount of time. So before we like really go into it, like, did that slur affect y'all?
No. Because how many white kids you see at a concert, a black concert?
It ruined my
Nigga
life.
this, nigga that.
It changed the way I view life. No.
Word, talk about it, Sid.
I mean,
The slur didn't affect me, but the context and how he used it didn't necessarily affect me. I just knew it was going to affect him. Like, I knew when I seen that, I said, yo, he played for who? Philly? Wow, this dude is the dumbest dude on earth. Y'all can't give me no meta world peace no more. Y'all can't give me, white folks, y'all can't give me nothing no more about who dumb on our side. That's the dumbest thing you ever did in a probably 80% dominated black sport in a city like Philly. Really? Like that alone right there.
But I think obviously to his credit, if I could play devil's advocate for a minute, he looked clearly drunk.
Yeah, he was drunk, but this is the thing. That lets you know that's how he talk when he's drunk on a regular. Like
some person speaks
he just
sober mind.
He just, I mean, you could just see it. Like, y'all messed them niggas up. You could just see. This how you one of them wild boys that when you get drunk, that's how you give it up.
If I could continue to play devil's advocate, don't we talk about white people when we drunk? If a white person push us the wrong way,
me personally, I don't care. You talking about me personally? What I got around the Cooper situation, it's what I got from a lot of the Caucasian analysts and like Caucasian people on TV, whether it be ESPN or what channel it was. They felt a little disrespected, a little bit uneasy about it for the simple fact that he looked too comfortable doing it. Even when they said it, that made me say like, dang,
but
you know
even
what?
when I saw the white analysts talking about it, looked like they was trying to overdo it to try to compensate. Like, I'm on you guys' side. Like,
no, I didn't get that.
What it seemed like to me. Like,
I got that they felt like, yo, he's a dummy. He's like fourth string, fourth receiver, and this is what he do.
Yeah, because even we know not to say that in front of the camera.
Exactly. That's what it was. It was like, yo, we taking your white card, bro. That's how they felt like. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I'm gonna come on sounding biased, but I don't really care.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that there's black players in the NFL that use the term to not.
You can say the term. It's radio.
Use the cracker term, but it is a double standard when it comes to the nigger to the cracker term, and it should be.
Let me cut you off for just 1 second. As far as that cracker word, as far as black people, we really need to stop using that word because it's really not a negative word towards white people, and white people know that. They know that the term cracker extended from when they used to crack the whip over us, and we called them crackers.
This is the thing, though. A lot of them don't know that. I didn't know that till you just said it.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that's where it come from.
But a lot of them don't know that. But even it doesn't have the history that the word nigger has.
Right.
Period.
Exactly.
So it's something that we have a double standard of. They're like, well, you guys say cracker. So we have a double standard on something whoopie-doo.
Right.
There's a lot of double standards out there.
Right.
And so, I mean, it doesn't have the same impact. Period. And I don't really care. And say, Kasim's being biased. Yeah, I'm being biased. So what? We have a double standard.
So you basically saying it's okay for black people to say it?
I'm not saying okay. It's still wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm still saying.
I don't think it's wrong.
Well,
I think it's the way we talk.
Well, I think it's wrong because it's still.
Like,
well, the reason I say I think it's wrong because it's still trying to offend somebody.
Right.
But the impact of it is it's not the same.
But it's not trying to offend somebody. Like when we telling you say yo my nigga.
It's different. It is a difference. Like you know.
Well, no, it's a difference from a white person saying it to a black person.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I think even in black people, we say it like I say it, but I've never said it in front of my parents.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I would, I say it in the company of people.
N-I-G-G-A.
You know, you can say it, dude. Like
no, I was saying the spelling of it.
Right. The ER is totally different, and we gonna talk about like when you've ever been called it later, which I have never. But I've always wanted a white person to call it. I think it's hilarious when white people say that. Like, it's funny to me. But, like, I mean, Jody's, like, huffing and puffing. I ain't
huffing and puffing. It's just that I come from a different situation, man. I went to white schools, high school.
Yeah, we talk about that. We talk about it in a second.
White college, you know what I mean? Caucasian college is different, man. It really has a stigma out there when you start to get into life. You know what I mean? Like, it's still a stigma there because if you have like in college, you got to mix people who up to hire you. Having that same mentality, it creates the same stigma,
right.
And we can't get past that hurdle as far as being hired like we're supposed to be hired, being looked at how we're supposed to be looked at when we come to a job interview or job situation. I mean, if the people our age still feel that way, then how do the kids coming up beneath us get the opportunity they need, and what are we doing for them to get that opportunity? Because we're not changing the face of how they view us a little bit, because I don't concentrate on it a lot. Yeah. But 10 or 15% of me got to say, you know what, I need to do something to make sure they change the view of how they view us. For my daughters.
Right.
If I don't do that, I'm doing a disservice to not only my community, but to my kids and my household.
And that's the thing,
you know what I mean? That's the problem.
That's the other thing that kind of affects me is because, usually that word is used by white people when typically we are acting like what they're calling us.
Not necessarily.
I'm saying typically from what I we don't know what that security guard said or did. Not to speak. I'm not speaking up for the Cooper dude.
No,
I'm just saying we don't know necessarily. A lot of times, like when you say, "Yo, he's a nigga," we say that all the time. Yo, you acting like a nigga right now.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Incidents happen with other blacks. You like these niggas.
Remember when you was talking about segregation? And I was like, we need to separate the niggas from the wholesome niggas. Right. This is a prime example of what you said. It's some niggas, like 3 M's, and it's some real black people that, again, you just call niggas. We got real black people that really carry themselves as they should, as an example.
This is the thing, though. I don't care how he was acting. You didn't have to call him a nigga.
Oh, I don't believe in that.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know exactly what was going on with the security guard, but I think if I'm going to put blame on anybody, Cooper was drunk.
Yeah.
And the security guard probably pissed him off, so he took it to there. You know what I mean? And another thing, I don't think Michael Vick really feels how he's saying on television. I just feel he has to say that because how he's looked at. You were fighting dogs and how
and
people
the season Philly had last year. They tried to do anything to get off to a good start and have a good season.
Right.
This is like. Everybody on the team is like, really, man?
Right.
After all that last year, everybody came into camp in shape. Everybody here. And this is what we got to deal with.
Yo.
Him, the 4th, 5th receiver, messing it up for everybody. And that's how boys feel.
What's so crazy, speaking of Michael Vick and the dog situation, I got to say this real fast because we was talking about it on Friday. Me and my parents and my wife and everybody, we went to Duff's Chicken Wings. So we was talking, it's open now on the boulevard. And we was talking about the Mike Vick situation. And my dad was like, my dad was like talking to my mom. He said, "What you talking about? You was happy Mike Vick was killing them dogs." She said, "Yes, I was." And he was like, "Hey, you wanted him to go to jail?" She said, "No, I didn't want to go to jail for that. I was happy he was killing the dogs." Because my mom don't like dogs, but it's just weird. Like I just thought that was funny because I would never expect my mom to say that. Like, but some of us, myself included, really don't take to dogs. Like I really or animals that for that matter. But I mean,
I'm the type of person that just put people above that, man.
So,
I hate when people act like, and that's another thing when it comes to the racial thing too.
Yeah, oh,
you know what I mean? Because it's like
That was the thing.
even time I've been places, you know, in the South and what have you. My whole family from this, like a lot of people from the South, but mine's originated from the South.
Yeah.
So it's like it's always a situation where even with some of my older people in my family, they live up here now. They have that feeling about pets because at one point in time, those pets was looked at as citizens and we weren't. They were looking above us.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? Even to this day, we see older people of certain Caucasian value treating the dog better than they treat their neighbor who happen to be black,
Or they kids.
Hispanic, or of another culture.
Right.
It rubs black people and other people the wrong way. You know what I mean? Because that's true. I mean, and for that moment, I felt when Michael Vick got in trouble, they tried to revert back to putting them over us. Like they felt like the dog was so important, although they had no attachment to the dogs.
Right.
Nobody had no attachment to these dogs.
Right.
They were so much more important than mankind.
And that's
Right.
not even
You know what I
saying,
mean?
Yeah, and exactly. And it's not for you dog lovers saying, "Oh, the dogs are nothing," but they're not humans. Period.
Exactly.
And it's like one time at work, somebody was showing pictures, and it's like, and I wasn't even in the conversation, but it's a black female and a white woman, and the white woman is showing pictures of her dogs, and she's like, basically, in so many terms, the black girl was showing the pictures of her daughter. White girl showing pictures of dog.
Yeah.
And it's basically like she was trying to portray like it's
comparing that?
like, equal,
You gotta compare the
yeah,
dog.
like, you know, like that's your baby, this is my baby.
That's what I'm talking about.
So
And that's
the
what I'm
black
talking
girl, so the
about.
black girl put out a picture of her
She was
kid.
showing her kids. It was,
Oh, let me say you Sparky.
Hold on, for real though, but white people hold their dogs like that. I swear.
And that's my point.
My supervisor child had like a miscarriage. Her child died when she was about to go in and have her baby. They went out and bought They went out and bought a dog. They're like, I'm like, a dog. I'm like,
Well, that's the flip side of my home. My parents got rid of a dog to have me.
see?
But they named me the same name as the dog. They called me KB.
oh, so you were
The dog name was KB, and that's what they called me when I was a kid, KB.
But in saying that, I mean, I hear where Marvin's coming from, but black people like their dogs too.
Yeah.
And that's the problem I have.
Yeah.
It's kind of a misnomer that we don't like our pets. That's why I get mad when it seems like they want to put their dog or their pet above a race of people.
To me, I just think like I don't mean to get biblical, but the dog is kind of like one of I guess the center of that emotion towards the dog comes from the Bible, where God told us to have dominion over the fish, the birds, the animals, and everything like that. So to me, it's like that's a recollection of that feeling, that relationship between man and animal. Dog is man's best friend, but dog is really man's whatever he say.
Thank you.
He is. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how I see it. Because we rule. I bought that dog.
Yeah.
I bred that dog.
We didn't bond in the forest. I brought him home. That's
Right.
my point. We went bought. Which one do you want like a car? Oh, no, that one got too many spots.
Right.
That one, yeah, that one. I want that one. That's how it's done.
I think black people do feel a certain way because if you think about it, we were getting bought and sold and things of that nature like dogs at one point.
Yeah.
So I see the sensitivity come when you said they in the South were once looked at like dogs, so
It's just a dynamic that when little things happen, like the Riley Cooper, the Michael Vick, among other things, and whatever you want to call it, other celebrities getting caught doing stuff. Like, you got to look at the stuff behind it sometimes before you can really get it. You know what I mean? Because if you say, why is this person in trouble, this person not in trouble, it's not always a face value thing. It's not always, because we like Tom Brady more.
Right,
It's usually a lot deeper than that. And because we don't go look, we have no understanding of it, so therefore we can't go forward and change it.
Well, we gonna go in as far as we can, pause, into the subject. You know what I'm saying? We gonna dig deep, pause.
You're a grown man.
Right.
Go ahead, man.
I just like it's funny now to me. That was funny. But reaction to his apology.
I thought his apology was very sincere. And that's the problem I didn't have. But you can see his whole body language that he was through. He was tore down. If you watch some of the clips of practice, his whole body language don't lie. I'm not saying that he wouldn't do it again. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he felt bad for what happened, how it transpired,
Well,
what happened.
You said, go ahead.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think his apology was full of crap. I'm gonna be honest. Like, now maybe we just read his body language different, but when I looked at him, I saw the cliche and you know, this is the worst thing. Like, even the way he was moving his eyes, I like everything about it.
Like
just
the
looked,
dude in Shaft when he killed. Remember the beginning of Shaft, the new one.
Yeah.
When
He looked defeated to me, though.
Killed that
He
girl.
looked defeated, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Even in the drills, when the guard dude was guarding him, he looked defeated.
I
Man.
think
he really looked defeated.
because
Yeah.
What, like, how it came
Yeah,
down.
that's
on
what I
him.
mean.
But yo, you saying he looked defeated?
Yeah.
But he also could have looked like Michael Vick just said, "Get away from me, cracker! Don't say nothing to me." And then they showed the camera him walking off, sad. Like
he really was defeated because when you realize sometimes when you get in trouble, and we all done it before, did some little bit be little trouble with your mom, the law, or with your job, whatever. Sometimes you do something like, "I ain't that big of a deal," because you in the moment, whatever that moment is. I'm acting too flossy. I'm talking too much to my girl in front of people, trying to be boss out of there. We all had those moments. And then after that, you're like, "Dang, I was dumb." It's that. I just had one of those moments, like, yo, I realized what I did, and like I said earlier, I played with nothing but black dudes.
Right.
He's friend with at least 2 people on the team, so at the end of the day, he still hurt one of his friends in the day, regardless of how you want to look at it.
I think my problem is, and that's why I brought up the subject, is I think people put too much into sincerity. Like, you can never really tell how sincere a person is. To me, the fact of the matter is, do you forgive him or not?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't forgive him, don't say, he didn't look sincere. No, I really got a problem with what he said. I don't like people who talk like that. You know what I mean? And from right now, I'm just not mature enough to deal with it.
But the thing is, like, I don't know, because sometimes, I don't know, like, I could be wrong, but sometimes certain people look more genuine than others, and that does play a part to me. Like, when I looked at him, I'm like, dude, you're saying what you got to say now because you're in trouble, but he didn't, it just looked cliche-ish to me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. People in society to put too much on the dude that knows how to act.
Yeah, well, and I think it's a problem. Like, I just think it's this era in general. It's just more fabrication. There's a lot of things that seem fabricated nowadays. Like everything seems like an act.
Everything is scripted.
Yeah,
everything is.
And even people on a regular basis, everything just seems more scripted.
Everybody in character.
Yes, and that's even like with your children. Like, I know everybody here got children except Tez. You know what I'm saying? You can tell your child, now apologize. And they put on that face and they apologize, but next week they doing the exact same thing over. Like, my thing is, okay, did you apologize on your own, number one? Mm-hmm. Number one, did you apologize on your own? And then your actions after, did they back up the fact that you were sorry?
You just brought up a good point. You just brought up a great point, Kenny, of why I question his sincerity. It's kind of like when people get caught with the steroids, then apologize.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, true.
He knew about the video before it leaked.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? He knew it was out there, and I guess they came to him first. I don't know if they were trying to get money or whatever. They came to him first about the video, and then took it to wherever they took it.
And he didn't come out.
But he didn't. That's my point. It's a possibility. If you was really that sincere, and whatever, why didn't you come out? Maybe he didn't think it would leak out.
Yeah, because he's not that famous. But you never know. Like, I get what you're saying because it is a part of sincerity. I question, like, you know, what was he thinking? Like, where is he coming from? Like, I don't know. Riley Cooper it's just confusing to me, man.
In the words of Kasim, the plot thickens because now that you're talking, it's like, why did this video come out the day after he's the starting wide receiver?
You know, it's a running joke. A Dallas fan did it. It's just a running joke. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
It's just a running joke out there. Just people just say it just to be a clown. Not that they really did it. It's just to be clowns because Dallas would do it to Philly. Because that's the question. Why would anybody even do that to Riley Cooper?
But you know why? You know what I mean? You know why? Because they said somebody tried to bring it to him, like bring the video to him. So they probably was trying to get money out of him. He said no. Jeremy Macklin gets hurt. Oh, this is the perfect time to put this out. Oh, you about to start now? You about to make the news now. So if you were really sincere, you would apologize when you saw the video.
But who is he sorry to? That's my question. Because did he apologize to the security guy? Because all this apologizing to
well, they say he's going to do it this week.
But that's my problem. That's the first person who got the apology. His agent. That's where you got bad. That's what's my thing about agents, man. They complain about some of these stars having these agents and Scott Boras being cut from Cano. Some of these agents ain't who you think they are. They're all about negotiating the dollar.
Right.
How much are you for the person's career? And that's what Jay-Z do come in a lot too.
Isn't there a difference between an agent and a PR?
I think the PR person makes the video.
That's the problem. For who though? For Michael Vick, yes. For LeBron, yes. But for Riley Cooper, no. He can't afford that. He can't afford that. His agent has to do everything at that point in career. It's like everybody else did, except when you're a prodigy. Mostly everybody starts off with an agent doing everything, and it progresses as you progress. Right. Mostly everybody. You know what I mean? So my point is, the agent haven't apologized to America and Philly because he's scared of that and he's scared of his job. If he didn't want to apologize to the security guard, Philly would have felt different because Philly is a hard-working town.
Yeah.
People's town. You know what I mean? Black and white.
Yeah.
Hard. They'd have felt a little different if you'd have said, you know what, I'm sorry to the security guard first and foremost.
Right.
That's who owes my apology to.
Even in his formal apology, he didn't.
He never mentioned that one time.
And that's the reason why, like, in the heat of the moment, I just remember his body language. But it was more to that why I didn't feel the sincerity anyhow. And you and Kenny helped me.
Yeah. See, to me, his body language is a reflection of realizing what I did.
Yeah.
It's like I said, you made a move, you did some heinous crime you thought was, ain't nobody see me, anybody, I'm such and such, I'm in my zone. The cops come get you like, bruh, you know what you did? You like, I ain't do nothing. Whatever, cuff me. I'm just gonna do a weekend, and then Monday come, Tuesday, Wednesday come, they're like, yo, we still gonna deal with this case. You getting hit with 2 felonies, and then, you know what I mean? Now you like, yo, I really did do what I did. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, these boys ain't letting me out my bed. Son, my bill, 50 G's. Like, everything started to hit, and everything started to hit to you, and you realize, yo, I really did something that's like irreversible.
But that makes you ask, are you sorry for what you did or the consequences
of it?
I'm
sorry for what it done to you.
Yeah, the consequences
that's the point of
his
it.
act.
And this is where some Caucasians get on their high horse. You gotta think this is the 5th receiver. Really feel like he can say this and get away with it. His lies say, well, nobody knew who I was. But in reality, he's like, man, forget y'all. You know what I mean? Like, so the reality of it is that we can get you too. Because nowadays, yo, it's a little different on the mainstream, on the face of everybody. Everybody don't want to have that stigma of being racist, being against gays, homophobic. Nobody wants that stigma as an organization anymore because it stops a lot of promotional dollars, a lot of advertising dollars. It's about green at the end of the day. And we start affecting people's business. Everybody can be let go. Yeah. Everybody can be let go. So,
well, so I guess the sincerity, at first I thought it was sincere, but Kasim convinced me otherwise. It was not sincere. I didn't know about the video being out months before. I didn't know that. Like, that definitely changed. And I think society does not know that. You know, as a whole, I think people, like, because it's funny, and I'm a victim of this right now. You read a story and you skim through the story. You know what I'm saying? Or you just see what's on ESPN on the bottom ticker, or what they talking about, you just take that for what it is. You think that, it was just last week. But if you had looked up, Kenny Chestnut ain't been in Philadelphia. Like you had to looked it up. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I did. I said, was he in Philly? That's what I did. I ain't gonna lie. I did that.
I actually got lucky and heard him talk about it.
Right. I looked it up. Like, I pulled a Kenny, because Kenny like to look stuff up. And, no, that's right here, bruh. So I looked up like, when was he in? Because I said, this is Raleigh Cooper now. I said, it's funny how all of a sudden he started, he becomes a commodity.
Yeah, because honestly,
who would really care if Macklin was there? Nobody would even care. This was just went under the rug.
I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna do what First Take don't do. Because you know, First Take, when a big, like, something happened, First Take, Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless wish they had like a all-inclusive show where they can talk about anything they want to talk about. But when stuff like this happen in sports, they try to like rig it to make it sports related, when really they just want to talk about some issues. Yeah. Like Stephen A. Smith wish he had a romance show where he could be Dr. Love, you know what I mean? He'd be talking about all the time. But that's what I'm doing today. It's for the listeners listening. You know, I really don't care about Riley Cooper. I don't care about really nothing that happened on this. But I just looked at it as an avenue to be able to talk about some issues that, you know, I just need to get off my chest. I need to have it in wax. I need to have it to where people can go back from years from now and see my views. So maybe it'll help somebody out. Because y'all some niggas, man. So, but I'll just be honest. The role model issue, that's what I want to touch. My bad. I keep touching, man, get some leg.
You want to touch on that issue, huh? Touch on the issue. Right. That's the wrong issue you're touching on.
Mike business.
Ain't touching the wrong issue, y'all.
That's the issue. Get your leg off my space, man. Dang. But the role model issue, like, then it came up to me, and then y'all can chime in on this if y'all want. I felt like now we in a day and age that, you know, when I was growing up, my dad kind of, you know, he had Magic Johnson always in my face. He had Michael Jordan always in my face. He had Jim Kelly always in my face. Right. Like Thurman Thomas, he had them, you know, guys in my face. But in all actuality, what I seen was that if I looked up to these guys, it kind of shunned me away from my dad. You know what I mean? And looking at him, the positives of my dad as well as the negatives of my dad. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to break that down for you in a minute. Go ahead.
Okay. As a role model, you know, I kind of look to Michael Jordan as a role model more than my dad. And I think kind of men and fathers do that. They do that so that, you know, your child don't look at me because I ain't even where I want to be. You know, I ain't there yet. Look at Kobe. Look at LeBron. You know what I'm saying? You kind of push, and single parent households, women do that a lot. They push that LeBron in their kid's face. You know, you want to be like LeBron. You gonna grow up, and that's not so bad, or used to not be so bad. But I think nowadays it's absolutely terrible as parents for us to push these people into our kids' lives, because with social media and with access to their personal life so much, kids start to see so much things is wrong with them, but because mom and dad is putting them in my face, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? All the things that they do, all the things that they say, is okay. Like, Kobe Bryant is my favorite. Dang, man, wait. Kobe Bryant is my favorite athlete, but I will never want my kid to be like Kobe Bryant. Ever. Like, you know, how he may play basketball, yeah. Watch him, take him for basketball. But like we was chopping it up the other day, Jody, I kind of like my kids to look at sports, like, or sports figures like I used to look at wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? How you look at a wrestler, you didn't care what kind of sneakers he wore when he left. You didn't care what he was doing outside of wrestling. You kind of looked at it as like a plaything, you know, entertaining, you know, and then that's that. Like nowadays, to me, it's the same thing. You don't want your kids looking up to anybody. Like when LeBron come out with the steroids, ain't none of y'all gonna want y'all kids to be like him, because they gonna find out that he was cheating y'all the whole time. He's been juicing, and your kids gonna be asking you for steroids. Y'all gonna be all
this opinion is not supported by intelligent trash talk at all. So me and Seam are not even agreeing to that opinion. We don't got nothing to do with that. So that is officially written off to the left. But anyways, I understand what you're saying, Kenny, and that it is pretty good. It comes from back in the day, when an era where a lot of our sports figures were political. They were all these things you wanted somebody to be as a man. Because in order to get to their position, they had to be that.
Right.
The Frank Robinsons, the whomever, you know what I mean, the Jim Browns,
right,
what have you, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars. But it came a certain point, I think, I would say, I'm not quite sure when it happened. I'm trying to think about it. That's what I'm saying, in the early 90s, where the players didn't have to be a certain player, a certain type, a black man to make it to that level. Mm-hmm. So therefore they were able to be whoever they were. That's the part around the time we started redirecting our parenting.
Yeah. Around
the Jordan era. Because Jordan is not who I want my son to be. Yeah. I mean, maybe it's parts of him that I do, but it's parts of him that I don't. You know what I mean? So thing with Magic Johnson, it's parts of him I do, but it's parts of him I don't. He still got AIDS. He still was living kind of lawless, irresponsible. Yeah. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it came to a point in history if we redirect our parenting, because the players were no longer political, they were no longer stand-up community people as individuals, it was per se. Right. So therefore, if they're no longer what we need them to represent as far as being role models, we have to redirect that, because we started getting people in society, black, that were in different positions that were role models. Over here to the left, a doctor. Over here, teachers are coming prominent now. So it went from just being sports figures and entertainers only to other directions, and we need to redirect our kids to those directions as well. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because they're more responsible people.
But you got to look at the point also, like you both made, like the social media changed a lot. Mm-hmm. Because even think about it, back then when Magic, before he came out with the AIDS, a lot of parents probably like they want their kid to be like Magic, a great basketball player, nice personality. You know, he had his girlfriend. He wasn't married yet, right?
For a while, he was with her for a while, but he got married when he got the Lakers.
He had the smiley face, endorsements everywhere. Be like him. Then he come out with AIDS. You find out he's sleeping with a different woman every night. Michael Jordan, be like Mike. You know, parents be like Michael Jordan. And then you see this. But nowadays you see everything. So it's really like, I don't want them to be like any of these people. You know what I'm saying? So
I think it's more like the way, you know, my son's 10 months old, so I'm fresh to this. But what I'm hoping is I'm gonna want my son to be like me.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping. You know what I mean? That I've done as much of my life, or you know what I'm saying, with my life. That no, I might not be a billionaire like LeBron, but I want my son to have my values, to think like me, but expand what I did. Do it better. You know what I'm saying? Do what I did, be like me, and use me as a foundation to make himself a better life. And I think with that is pressure. You know what I'm saying? And I'm learning that now. It's like, even now at 10 months old, I can't say everything I used to say in front of his mom. You know what I'm saying? In front of him. Because I don't want, it's pressure now. Because I'm not going to shun that to Kobe. I'm not going to shun that. Well, really, it's because LeBron is the face of the NBA, and I really can't have no, I can't have nothing LeBron. he got he got a big blemish.
What?
He's not loyal. He lies.
He didn't promise Cleveland nothing.
Yes, he did. He promised them a check. He promised them a check.
This is the thing.
He gonna bring it to him when he go back.
This is the thing. But you teach them your flaws, like the things that you got flaws with and everything, and try to make them better.
Right.
But at the same time, I do feel. I mean, people may disagree, but as athletes, that like the LeBron James or the big names that kids look up to, I do think selfishly that it should come sort of with the territory. With great power comes great responsibility.
True.
You know these kids are looking up to you, so you try to be good role models, and a lot of them do.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some of them, that are what they are, but I think the athletes should want to be role model for the kids if you got a lot of them that look up to you.
See, I try to break it down in my household. I got a soon-to-be 10-year-old and a 1-year-old. I try to break it down with something I developed through being a parent first and not being a parent for the second time. Mm-hmm. It's like the Voltron system, or for these people nowadays, the Transformer system. Yeah. I try to basically be the centerpiece of what I want the foundation for them to be. I try to put people in their life, maybe do things I can't do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whether it be my good friends or other leaders. Because I think some people get caught putting their friends, pressure on their friends to be so great. Right. When you just put leaders in their life, whether it be that teacher, your fourth grade teacher's a good teacher. Boom, they're going to win. Right. That coach, maybe not last year's coach, but this year's coach. There's another. Right. You know what I mean? Grandma. You know what I mean? I try to put different figures to form that system so they can see how it should come out. You know what I mean? Right. For them to just be like me, I always want mine to be better. Yeah. No question whatsoever. And we all do. Right, you know what I mean? It's not. But my goal in teaching her, I always teach my goal, to my daughter especially, be better than dad and mom. That's your goal. Your goal isn't to be who I am. I don't care if I make $30 million. I don't care if I know what I've done in my life. Right. So I know if I get you to be better than that, you have a shot out here. Yeah. You know, that's my thing. And the people I'm putting around you, take the good from them. Right. Don't take the bad from them. Right. They all go, I let them know they all made mistakes. They all made some mistakes. I only want you to know. But if you take the good from them and form within your foundation and form yourself, you get a lot of positive. Yeah. Because everybody got bad, including yourself. So if you take the good from everybody whom you're centered around, you'll have some type of product to look up, and then don't be so disappointed when you see people make mistakes. Yeah. Because it's just a reflection of society, reflection of who I am, reflection of who you're going to become.
Reflection of being a human.
It's just nowadays, like, everything that happens is out there, so it could be a good person, a good player, a role model, whatever, but he got a blemish because he's a human, but now the whole world, it's different than before. Right. These athletes have it harder.
This is going back.
I tell my daughter all the time, like, when I was growing up, my parents, when they argued, I was never, I wasn't allowed to be around. Like, you go upstairs, you know what I'm saying? Even though you can hear everything going on, it was a go upstairs. Like now, with my daughter, she's 10. I said that right. She was born in 9/11. No, she's 11. I'm sorry. My bad, babe. She's 11, but me and my wife would be arguing, and I said, no, you stay right here and mediate this. Like, my daughter, and usually I'm right. That's right. You got a problem with it. You got a problem with it.
Again, the Chelsea trash on another sport. None of these white ring views to the left to me, okay?
You got a problem with it.
Is not with that.
Hey, if you got a problem with me being right all the time, call in.
Disclaimer.
716-703-8888. But my wife, I always go to my daughter and say after, I'd be like, babe, you can't blame your mom for how she acted today. She's married to me. It's tough being married to me. No, but real talk, I talk to my daughter about, if she heard something that maybe she shouldn't hear, to understand that people aren't perfect. You know what I'm saying? Mom and dad ain't perfect. And I think a lot of times, we throw the TV. The TV is raising most of our kids. You know what I'm saying? And because we too scared. I think a lot of times we too scared to admit our weaknesses, and we too scared to work on those weaknesses and be transparent with it. And so that was one of the things, like the role model situation, because people started talking about him being a role model to a kid. I'm like, yo, he's a fifth string wide receiver. Like, ain't nobody looking up there.
I know.
I had a question over
heard him say it. He's like, the kids that looked up to the people that look up to me, I know they're disappointed. I'm like,
two from your hometown.
Y'all probably all talk like that in your hometown. You know what I mean?
But I have a question though. Like you were saying, how parents throw their role models, like this person in their face, this person in their face. You think that's just like a black thing though?
No,
they growing up with single families?
No.
Or is that like a white thing?
It has
like,
to do with single families with the mothers. They looking for a male figure to inspire. But it's happening. I mean, single parent families and white families too is a lot of what we're families we give credit to.
You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like a two family home. Like say if you got your mother and the father home, and it's like say you got a successful father. You think he's like, well, I want you to be like me, if not better, or you like, is it like, well, this father ain't ish. You know what I mean? With a black family, your father ain't ish, he ain't in your life. I don't want you to be nothing like your father.
The funny thing about it is, without getting too deep in it, I think, like, you talking about two-parent families, in the white culture, when you watch, I don't know a lot of white people, like, or white situations,
See, but
when you watch TV, the dad ain't there. He making money. He's never home. He's working, but he's never home. And the kid is frustrated. Daddy don't spend no time with me. I think
it's different. But
it's the same.
It's a suffering.
Right.
But it's still much different. Like because think about it, in a black community, that would be a good it would be looked
My daddy's working.
Yeah, daddy here all the time. He working full time job. You know, he's bringing in money.
Right.
So we're not struggling. That would be looked at in a good way. And that is. I'm about to hang.
Right, I'm about to hang about something.
You must think like when they get like to that age, like when they get an age of understanding, like okay, now I know why daddy was gone. He was out working, trying to make a better life for me and my mom and my little sister, or whatever. Right. But in the black community, not just in black community, bro, in a deadbeat father community, you like, I don't understand why my dad was never here. You see what I'm saying? So it's looked at kind of differently. We like, well, daddy ain't here, he always working. Oh God, daddy's always working, never spends time with us. Daddy ain't here, I don't know where he at. Why? And it affects them a little differently than just like daddy's just working.
Because it's such a different dynamic. Like, because in that dynamic, it's like, oh, daddy work all the time. He must care about his job more than he does me. But and then I have to work towards that.
No. Even in that, when daddy is not working, he's playing golf.
Okay, but in the other element, it looked at daddy just abandoned me. Yeah. He didn't care about me. He didn't love me. He didn't want to be a part of my life.
But when you look at that situation, even in that, you know what I mean? Because I'm very close to a situation like that. A lot of times, it ain't what the kid was taught by his mother, per se. Right. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, the mother gives a story that's not 100% true.
To try to shut it up.
Either to try to make the father look bad or to try to make the kid forget about the father for whatever reason. When you talk to your father 18 years later, it's a totally different situation.
But you know what? I mean, we ain't even on sports, but that's still...
That's why I did this.
Oh, yeah. That's
why I did this.
But that's still... but whatever excuse he has to say after that, it's like, get out of my face. It's bogus. 18 years... She didn't keep you away from me 18. You know what I'm saying? Even if she made a bad story, you had a chance to dispute that story throughout my life by being here somewhere or trying to be there. You know what I mean? Like these fathers come 18 years later and be like, well, your mom told me she wanted me not around. We had our fights, so I don't know what I moved on with my life. How does that happen? You know what I'm saying? Like that's bogus.
This goes back to what the root of what you're saying, Kenny, about how parents choose people to be role models. Yeah. A lot of people just, even as men, us 4 or 5 sitting in this room, people just are so scared to reveal who they really are.
Yeah.
To anybody. Let alone, and it's funny, like, I'm not, that's why I got to a certain point, and everybody had these feelings, I got to a certain point in my 20s, late 20s after my daughter was born, me and her mother went through it. Yeah. She's seen some things at a young age, probably she don't never remember, thank God. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, that let me know that I can't no longer be scared to reveal who I am. She see me at one of my lowest points. Right, and then she see me come back from that. Right. And build more character, build a home, build everything for her. Yeah. And at the same time assume custody of her. Yeah. So it's about letting your kids see how far you can drop sometimes. Yeah. Knowing that it's a comeback from that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because when they drop some point in their life, whether it be without their dad, without whomever, or what have you, in my case, without a mother really, you know what I mean? They gotta understand that it's not the end of the world. It's not a life or death situation. Right. You still control your own destiny as a human being. Yeah. And once we teach our kids that, they can take that negative and make it a positive by saying, you know what, I'm gonna be opposite of that. Right. You know what I mean? And it's teaching moments that people don't want to take as teaching moments. They want to take everything as disappointment when it's bad. Yeah. Everything negative it's bad emotionally. But once you get to a certain point in life where you got to overcome it and move forward, you got to use it the proper way it needs to be used, and that's as a tool.
And that's the things that you learn from your parents. And you really don't learn that in front of the TV. And it's crazy that we talking about this because honestly, Kashim, what we doing today is we're improving the community. we saving lives. But when it comes to the deadbeat dad situation, I think a lot of this has to do with the TV raising our kids. A lot of it, I would say a good 40%. And what I mean by that is instead of making your kids watch TV or just leaving them to the video game all day, if you create moments with your children, they remember that when they get older. Yeah. And it's much harder for them to be a deadbeat dad when their dad was there all the time. You know, a lot of people ain't deadbeats just because they just hate their children or they don't want to be in their life. A lot of people, that's all they know. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's how my dad did me.
And I still think
I came out fine. I came out fine.
I still think it's an excuse because the reason I say that is, like, I'll just use an example. My father's biological father wasn't really there for him. Okay. So that made him even more want to be there in my life. You know what I'm saying? Because he, you know what I'm saying? So that's
same situation with my dad.
And that's I heard the story one time. They said a man who was an alcoholic died, and he had 2 sons. And the day after the funeral, one son was at the bar. And they said, my dad was an alcoholic, so I'm going to be an alcoholic, and I'm just going to sit here and die because that's what my dad did. The other son was across the street, the CEO of a business, and said, my dad was an alcoholic, so that's what I'm definitely not going to be. I'm going to be the opposite. I'm going to grow my business and become a millionaire and be the opposite of everything my dad was. And so like you said, that is an excuse. With anything that happens, you have a choice to either, go one way or go the opposite way. And I think, but the rebuttal to that is, given each person in their situations, it's hard to tell that person how to think or how to emotionally react to a situation.
And my thing is, if you can always get to the age of 18, no matter what you've been through, I mean, that's the point where you got control of your life. I mean, I don't care what nobody said. Much of stuff you've been through, and people have been through some bad things, and it hurts my heart to see some of these kids go through some things. Yeah. But if you can find a way to get to 18, find a way to be grown, find a way to be able to make real decisions in the world on your own, because the world doesn't recognize your decisions before that point, regardless of what. So if you can find a way to get to that level, then you have the capacity to do whatever you need. Because if you still living at that level, you still being able to get some food at that level, and finding somewhere to stay, you have an opportunity to be what you need to be. But it all comes up to you. No matter how you put it, it's going to come up to you at some point in time. And even with a better support system, I've seen a lot of people with great support systems, especially in Niagara Falls. And this is not the only city like that. I hate that old Niagara Falls stuff. It happens all over the country. But it's people in Niagara Falls who got parents in the church. I know them, and y'all probably know them too. Yes, parents in the church. Parents is professionals. Money. And the first thing they did was go to the streets. It's like, dude.
Right.
Who is you fooling? I don't care. After about 6-7 years, maybe it becomes you, because what you do becomes you. I understand that. But who are you fooling?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Don't give me that you had it hard out here stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? And to do what you're doing. You made a perfect choice to do this. Now, my thing is, you made that choice. That's who you are now. But don't sit here and try to act like when you get in trouble, the rest on your parents being this.
Exactly.
I hate that. I hate that
statement. To get out of it. You know what I mean?
And Jody brought up a good point, because it's like me and my girlfriend was having a conversation before, and it was about hustlers. Now, before I get to the point, I'm not justifying anything, so let's make that clear. When we talk about hustlers, and she was saying how all hustlers, she had an opinion, they're all dirtbag, scum, whatever they may be. Right. And I was like, certain things is not face value. Like kids, we saw this is good, this is bad, whatever. I was like, sometimes you gotta look at the situation. I was like, now, a lot of these people in Niagara Falls are how Jody talked about. They got both parents in church, money, and they just choose to go to the streets, and you be like, what are they doing? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, them. I was like, but there's others that I know who, since 9 years old, had to take care of themselves. Because their parents, the generation before, were failures. They're out here 9 years old, out hustling, selling drugs from 9 years old. By the time they're 13, 14, that's all they know. Yeah. That's all they're doing. Yeah. And she was like, well, if they think about it, they get 18, they could go to college and do. I'm like, but you got to think from their mindset. Mentality, they got to eat. Like, they're not thinking about 5 years. They're thinking about next week. I have to eat. Yeah, next hour. I'm the child, 13, 14 years old, putting food on the table. And I got little siblings that I'm looking out from 14. They get that mentality. Now, it comes to a point when you're old enough to try to make a change. But sometimes it's too late with them. They get stuck in them ways. And
I know somebody. I'll tell you about the commercial.
Yeah, we gonna go to the commercial real quick. We gonna get into some personal stories, man. We gonna talk about was the last time you've been called a nigger or in a racial situation. Definitely love to be not nigger, 'cause, you know.
ER.
But ER, right? So I definitely would like to get some calls, you know, so we can hear y'all side of the story. 716-703-8888. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. Intelligent Trash Talk Sports, KJCM Radio.
Do you have a herniated colon? If you do, the last thing you need is another unrelated problem called overactive sweat glands. Then you're the guy with a herniated colon who also sweats a lot. That's why I use the clinically proven odor and wetness protection of Old Spice Pro Strength Antiperspirant. In summary, weapons grade, odor and wetness cockfight. This stuff works. I'm Jackie Moon, illegal. Also, I got a girl in here.
Intelligent Trash Talk Radio Show is brought to you today by Overdose Cafe. Guaranteed to bring you to a state of itis, an intense state of comatose caused by a massive food overdose. Head on down to 829 Main Street in Niagara Falls, New York for the best food in town. Or call in your order at 716-304-9000. That's 716-304-9000. OD Cafe, baby.
My name is Scott McGrath. The day before my 8th birthday, I fell in a pile of fire ants and suffered significant wounds on over 70% of my body. Since that day, I have made a solemn vow to kill every insect on planet Earth. I hate them with the passion of a religious zealot. Speaking of religion, of all the biblical plagues, I hate the locust plague the most. For the last 12 years, my white-hot rage has materialized in the form of my business, McGrath Pest Control. I have harnessed this unforgivable intolerance of insects and released the wrath of my fury on bugs in and around the homes of Houston. I will kill those bugs in any way that I can. Chemicals, my boot, my bare fist, or any other object that can end the life of an insect. Call 281-469-8240 and give me the honor of killing bugs at your house. I also hate rats and spiders. Go to McGrathPestControl.com.
Everybody sweats, but most people would be surprised to know that they sweat 6 liters per day. Now, I'm not familiar with the metric system or any other foreign language, but that's the equivalent of 300 gallons, I would guess. 300 gallons per day? Imagine that. That's a fact. Hey, cauterize your sweat glands shut. Ow! With Old Spice Pro Strength Antiperspirant.
Welcome back to Intelligent Trash Talk Radio Show. Bags, Jody, Sing, Mob, Taz, we all in the building. Talking pretty much, you know, we having, I guess it's called a heart-to-heart about, you know, racial situations in the country, basically surrounded around the Riley Cooper situation. Marv, before we went to break, you was about to talk about a story about hustlers.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So me growing up, I ain't gonna say no names. I knew of a hustler, you know what I mean, who sold drugs, because mother owned drugs, best friend, family ain't never had nothing to eat. Basically, sold drugs to eat. Sold it till they was about, I'd say about 20, 25 area, you know, around that time frame. Then they stopped and just started working full-time the whole time. Started working full-time, got so used to those drugs, that drug money, fast money, instead of waiting 2 weeks, went back to selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? Now, one of these people are facing 20 years of life because somebody was snitching on. So it's like, it's kind of going inside with like, it really is kind of like a decision you got to make on your own. One person decided to stop, didn't go back. One person decided to go back, ended up in jail. Because it's to the point, it's like, is it really worth it? You do it to feed your family, do it to take care of your kids, but at that point, once your kids don't have to take care of themselves, who you doing it for? You see what I'm saying?
And how I explain to the kids not to do this in schools, like, you know what I mean, it's like, how far of the game do you want to get ahead? And from up 20 with 4 minutes to go, do I put the scrubs in? or do I just keep my starters in and go high? You know what I mean? And at what points in life do you continue to do that? You know what I mean? If I'm up and if I'm a junior in college and I got all my credits done, I'm a year ahead of my game, I keep the starters in. But if I'm on the street and I'm up 10,000, do I keep the starters in?
Yeah.
Because the starters end up being being took out by somebody else, by the refs, is what I used to say. You know what I'm saying? So, end of the day, the decision has to be made, hindered on the future eventually. And if you don't make the decision hindered on your future eventually, then your present will catch up with you, is what I used to say. You know what I mean? There's a couple of suits you didn't do with me, Kenny, you know, before you started. Your present will catch up to you.
Yeah.
And it's funny how your present can catch up to you, but it really do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it becomes your past tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but anyways.
So let me ask y'all, I'm going to go first. I'm going to ask a question, but I'm going to go first. When's the last time you've been in a racial situation where you've been called a nigger or something close to it? Mine happened in 2004. And that was the first and only situation first of all, I've never been called a nigger before. And honestly, a part of me just always been wanting to be called one because I think it's hilarious when white people say that. I don't know. I think I built, it's funny about me, I built mechanisms inside of myself to be able to diffuse certain things so I don't go crazy. So when certain things happen, I tend to laugh, to keep from going crazy. But in a certain situation, I was working at Walmart, and this white girl came in the back. We was in the back, and she said, she just stood there. We was all talking, we was chopping it up, and we was clowning. And she stood there, and then we noticed. We was like, "You all right?" And I asked her, and I said, "Yo, can I do something for you?" Like, I was really going to help her out. She said, "What do you think I'm standing here for?" She was like, "Duh." I was like, "What you talking about?" She was like, "Why you looking at me like I'm a banana in a tree?" And I was just like, "Yo, did she just?" And I bust out laughing. And my man was like, "Yo," he was ready to go off on it. I was like, "Yo, just chill, man." We ended up, he was like, "Nah, we got to do something." I said, "Okay, let's just tell the manager then." Like, we told the manager, and we told the manager, like, jokingly. I said, "Yo, I got caught a monkey back there." Like, he was like, "We talking about?" "Yeah." I said, "Homegirl, she said we was looking at her like she a banana in the tree." Like, we laughing. He was like, "Wait, what?" And he took it kind of more serious. Yeah, he took it serious. I was like,
whoa.
HR, Kenny, hold on.
Right.
He was white, right?
Yeah, it was white.
See, he's like, oh,
We don't do that here.
Right. You know what I'm saying? He was like, "Well, did you tell somebody?" I was like, "Well, nah. It was funny." Like, and he was like, "No, this isn't funny." Like, he took it serious. She ended up getting fired from that joint. I ain't want. I'm
a clap. I'm a clap. Like I said, did because a lot of us got fired for a lot less.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The situations is like, I came in 1 minute late for the second time in a year. Okay, he come in late every day, but he ain't fired. I'm fired. Like, so I'm gonna clap it up.
And I remember, I gotta say this. My mother-in-law, she said, "Make sure you tell the people on the radio that I don't want that Riley Cooper to lose his job." She said, "We need to show him mercy because he got a family, he got people to feed." And I'm thinking in my head, I don't care nothing about his whoever. But in a situation with this female, I didn't want her to get fired.
Yeah,
to me, it was like, you said you did?
No, I said I feel you, but she could get another job. And
the crazy thing is that Walmart, so most people who work at Walmart also shop at Walmart. So we ended up seeing her one day. She just gave us the evil eye, and I wanted to walk up to her and be like, "Yo, I ain't mean for none of that to happen." But
and that's why I think she should have been fired. That's why she got fired. You know why? Because she about to say basically what I'm about to say. Sorry, Scene. But the reason why she gave it why because she said, "That didn't warrant my firing. Me calling you a monkey, that ain't enough."
Right.
So that's why she deserved to get fired right there.
And she, instead of her coming to you, be like, "I apologize."
I'm sorry, yeah.
She was mad. He caused me to lose my job.
She just said, "I would appreciate me getting fired over it, but I was wrong, and I understand why I went to the point it did."
But that's my point. Then it didn't matter that she got fired because the lesson wasn't learned. Like, to me, it's like no point. Why fire her if at the end of the day she's not gonna get it?
Yeah, she didn't get it, but she ain't get that paycheck either.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Walmart. I mean, at the time that was paying my bills.
She
but
was mad
She was
about
hot.
it.
Yeah.
If you get them hot, that was well worth it, son.
She said, "I'm about to jump back on the system." But what about y'all? When's the last time y'all been
I guess I'll go. It was back in 2010.
Right.
I was down in
fresh wound.
Right.
Yeah, I was down in military training down in Texas. This guy wasn't from Texas. He wasn't
In
from
the
Texas.
hang me stage.
What happened was, it was a dude named Groshala, Airman Groshala. Government. And the dude, what happened was, me and him just didn't get along. I always say he was racist because the way he used to treat me and a couple other people, he used to always say, "Why are you guys so loud?" But people that's in the military know when you're in security forces, everybody is loud. That's what they want. That gives you reward points for everybody being loud. But he felt like the black people were always the loudest. So I used to always ask him, "Yo, why you always got a problem with black people being so loud?" He used to say, "It's not black people, it's everybody." I'm like, "It's funny." I'm like, because only time you bring it up is when black people are talking. And he said, "I don't have a problem with you guys." I'm like, "You guys?" I'm like, "Oh, see, so you do really single us out." And then he kept getting mad because I kept going on with it. He said, "Oh, I can't stand you niggas." I was like, "What?"
The man didn't have a problem.
I beat this dude up so bad.
Wait. Time out. You had the problem. No, that was your fault. Listen, because even when he said "you guys," you said why is it always with black
guys.
people? And then he said, "I've got a problem with you guys." You said black guys.
Listen. I asked him directly because it was just too much of a suspicion. I'm like, "Why are you always getting mad when the black people are the ones that's being
And
loud?"
then he said, "I have no problem with you guys."
And I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "So you guys?" So
Right, exactly.
So I kept
Why you
going on.
getting offended?
I'm like, I'm inquiring because
Myra said, "You a liar, bro." And
Yeah.
they call you.
No.
That's
See, that's the
exactly
thing. You got mad at the "you guys" in the wrong context.
True, but I knew it was going to be enough to get him to the point where he was going to say something that he shouldn't have said. I wanted the truth.
So you really just wanted to beat him up.
No, that too. But listen, it's when you're in basic training, it's a lot of frustration in basic training. It's 8.5 weeks, no girls.
So might as
You
well
can't
let it
look at no
out on a
girls.
racist.
Yeah, why not? Nobody, listen, I didn't like this dude in the first place.
Yeah, we
That's why he was racist.
looking for victim stories.
Yeah, that's a victim story. I was a victim of racism.
No, but you felt it like he.
I knew this. I had a feeling this dude was racist, and everybody's like, "Yo, I think you're right." I'm like, I'm about to ask him because I'm just bold enough to do it. So I asked him and kept asking him, and he's one of those people. Everybody, I knew the frustration. Yeah, true. I knew the frustration level for everybody was high, so it's gonna get you to a point where you're gonna bring out your true self. See what I'm saying? So I brought that out of him, what his true self was, and he really was a racist. I beat him up. They brought us down. I got some paperwork done, but he got a lot more paperwork than I did because the person that brought us down was black anyway. And he's like, "What happened?" I was like, I felt like he was racist because he always said it was a problem when we are so loud, and I want to know who were we because every time he said it, it was always a black person
What do
being
you
loud.
mean, you people?
You know what I'm saying? So, and then
Myra,
the
this story sucks.
Listen, it's the truth. That was the last time I was called a nigga.
Next.
The last time I was called a nigger, my story worse than his. Dudes be riding by in cars or be out there hooping and be like, "Niggers."
Y'all just doing an episode of Seinfeld.
Yeah, you girl.
A couple times.
You talking about
Not in there.
Oh.
Over there, somebody might follow him.
Right. You know, I'm like,
oh, really? No, but sometimes it's like a couple times out Stevenson. He's out there hooping.
Oh, okay.
He was drove by, "Niggers." And he's like, "Yo, come out here and hoop with us." But I mean, that's about it. But the last time,
Stevenson, why are you out there hooping?
we out there hooping
You
sometimes.
ain't supposed to be out there.
In uncharted waters, not wanting to get the N-word tossed
That's
around.
white only.
Out in Elmira.
And the last time I did feel some profiling, now I remember this, because the law was involved. Yeah. Now, this is back in the day, and I said, like, it might have been 10 years ago, right? My girlfriend at the time lived on 24th Street. I lived on 18th and Pierce.
Okay.
So late nights, it'd be a lot of stray dogs when I'm trying to get to Pierce from 24th Street. It'd be a lot of stray dogs. So this day I grabbed this stick about this big. They can't see, but it's about this big. And I'm walking with this stick. So I'm trying to take the routes with the most lights. So I'm walking down 19, about to hit Pine. Cop car pulls up. He at the light. And it looked like he's talking. He's in the passenger seat talking. But I didn't know he's talking to me. So I'm just walking, saying raps in my head. Then I see him go something like that out the window. So now, like, I freeze because I know he's talking to me. He jumps up. He jumped out the car. The other one jumped out the car. He's like, "I said drop the effing stick." So I dropped the stick. And I'm like, "Oh, my bad, I didn't hear you." He's like, "You heard me." Like, and then ran on rants. I'm a punk and I'm out here trying to do something. They asked me why I had the stick. I said, Because it'd be dogs out here. Ain't no dogs. Yoke me up. They yoked me up for like 3 minutes is long when you getting yoked up. Like
45 seconds is long.
They just asking me all these questions. You coming from that party? Yeah, we know you coming from that. I'm not coming up for a party. I'm coming from my girl house. I'm scared of these dogs. I got this little stick. I'm trying to get home. And they just made me feel like such a punk because it's the law. You can't do nothing.
Right.
So they pulled off.
You sure you ain't from down south?
What you say that?
You keep calling them the law.
The law.
you know, from down south they call them the police and the law.
Yeah, the law. So after they pulled off, and I wasn't crying. My eyes were just watering.
No, he was hurt. Your feelings was hurt. You felt violent on some G stuff.
I felt like I got yoked up, like my shirt all loose now.
I ain't no punk.
Back then, I'm already 14. Yeah. And back then, I already wore baggy clothes when my shirt was like, it was like one of kitty shirts on me. You know what I mean?
And you felt like it was high noon and everybody saw it.
Yo,
crazy thing about
time out. Since you gonna say Kenny shirt, yesterday, we was talking about, because my birthday coming up this week. And so my mom asked my wife what size shirt I wear. And she was like, no, she said she had just got finished saying she wear a large. And so she was like, well, what size you cake you wear? She was like, a 6X. And my niece said,
Oh my God.
I was like, hey man, why we had to put that all out there? That's
my information out
there. That's something you write down. But no, I ain't gonna cut you.
Oh no, it was good. But so afterwards, I'm looking around to see if anybody saw, because I'm embarrassed.
Right.
And some kids was coming from a party. They walking across the street, and they like calling across the street, hey man, get his badge. Like, did you get his badge number and all this? I'm like, I didn't do none of that. I was trying to get his badge.
When you in the middle of getting raped, you're not looking for.
Let me get some DNA while he raped.
And plus the fact, I mean, me getting his badge number and making this complaint, what's gonna happen out of this? You know, and I'm not about to be targeted by them. I mean, because I'm not.
Yeah, you could have been Niagara Falls.
If this was 2013 is happening, it might have been something.
Yeah, but
10 years ago?
Yeah, I'm like, no, I ain't get his badge. No, I'm just going home. They're like, no, man, you should do it. I'm like, man, I'm going home.
That's crazy.
Just embarrassed.
That
was enough for me.
Yeah, man.
Jody, what you got? I know you got D1 pride, hopeful.
Nah, it's like,
they bring you back down to earth.
You get all kinds of stuff, man. Like I said, I went to a pretty much Caucasian college. High school situation was mostly Caucasian until like about my junior, senior year. They got a little bit, LaSalle was like that. By my junior year, it got, about 65-35, you know what I mean? But we used to have race wars at our school. You know what I mean? LaSalle, I remember going in, we used to go to the cafeteria before school, we could hang out, buy snacks and stuff. And back at the school, I remember race wars going on with like some of the biggest people just going at it.
Yeah.
Like from both sides of the fence.
Well, with LaSalle versus Niagara Falls, if you didn't play for a LaSalle basketball team, you was considered Uncle Tom.
Exactly.
And you was white.
So it was a lot of race wars in our school, man. I mean, you had people getting mad because we say hi to certain females. You know what I mean? They had certain marked females you couldn't even hardly talk to. They thought you were trying to get with them. Now, mind you, some of my friends was, but me personally, I never wasn't.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? If you be nice to somebody, you got situations pop off. College, the same thing. But as far as real race things, like some of those things I don't consider things that happened to me more recent, as more race related because of the times we're in as far as society. If it really don't affect me, I don't see it as nothing. You know what I mean? If it doesn't affect me or whom's with me or around me, I don't see it as much. But I had things happen to me as a youngster that you know what I mean, that were a lot.
You want to tell a story?
I'll give you one right now. I remember my grandmother, you know what I mean, she worked in plants her whole life. My grandfather worked in a lot of places like that, you know what I mean, his whole life here. So they made decent income for back in that time. You know what I mean? I remember her getting a brand new Cadillac right before she retired. Like, I want to say like 91, 90, something like that. I was like an 8th grader or a freshman. She started to drive really. My uncle gets it from the dealership, right? He come to show me the flaws because she got one of the first people around Western New York to get this type of Cadillac. He come pull up on me, say, you know what? Grandma ain't drove over here, but you take it for a spin because she ain't never going to let you drive this thing. So it was just a joke. Yeah, I take it, go around the corner, man. I lived on 18th and Western, and at the time it was a pretty decent neighborhood. So I get like halfway around the corner. I don't get halfway around the corner. Guess what happened? Right?
What were you doing, Joe?
Exactly. And the fact about it, dude pull up on me like, yo, who car is this?
Oh,
Word. This is my word, yo.
wow.
Now, by this time, like I said, my grandfather worked for a lot. He was a plumber. He worked for a lot of different places. By this time, he had his own business. So he was making money however he wanted to make it.
Yeah.
So he get out, who car is this? I'm like, huh? I'm a kid, mind you, I'm 15, 16. I'm getting a little confused, like, who car is this? Like, damn, my uncle still is bad boy? Like, what's going on? Like, so he like, yo, who car is this? He got dealership information on it and everything. I said, well, dang, don't that mean we bought it from the dealership? So I started getting a little confidence when he told me that. Like, damn, we bought it my grandmother's car. So he kept going on and on about how she can acquire this. Tell me how your drug dealing affiliation is. I said, man, yo, my name is. I was my freshman year.
Yeah.
I remember it was like after my freshman year. Now remember, like, dang, B, my name is such and such. I be in damn paper. Like I can't do nothing. Like if I do anything, it's automatic splash right there, B.
Right.
So I'm like, yo, like, do the knowledge on people who my family. They all work in all kinds of places around here. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on? He's like, nah, ain't no possible way. You're the one who just turned over a new leaf. He started going on how I'm some bad seed and that's in the third and how I acquired this through drug dealing. I said, well, dang, I got smart on him. Dang, drug dealers getting cars from the dealership now, yo? And this, around Niagara Falls, that's a drug dealer for your tail. Like, so I'm going to do the history on you. So he started looking me up. What is it to look up from a 16-year-old kid who just got his license? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he had me stretched out. Mind you, my uncle came looking for me. Like, yo, basically had me sitting there in the car for mad time. My uncle came looking for me like, yo, I told you to go around the block. Where is you at? It's an hour and a half later. I ain't making it around the block.
Yeah.
So going through all these checks and all about how I'm this and drug dealer, this, that, and the third. Finally, somebody drive by, like, yo, why you got him stretched out like this? He's like, yo, his family such and such, you know what I mean? His grandma, that's probably his grandmother's car, like, you know what I mean? So just to make a long story short, it's just that the stereotypes we go through to even get around the block.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Becomes a job and a task
Right.
in our lives. And sometimes that part in itself leaves you not to focus on the big picture in life as a black man.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now the whole rest of the summer, I'm on ease. Like I'm on edge now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like I shouldn't, as a black man, or a young man in general, a young kid, teenager who got his whole future in front of him, nothing bad going in his life, shouldn't have to not look at my future.
But that's
You know what I'm saying?
But
So-
the crazy thing about that though is that's why the word nigger means so much to a lot of black people, because a lot of black people feel, we feel the pressure surrounding that word and everything that word means every day, even though we don't even notice it or it's kind of natural to us. For example,
But hold on one second, I forgot.
Oh, no, go ahead.
We talked about the
No,
N-word, and I didn't put my N-word part in there. And when he's walking back to the car, one of these times going back, he was shaking his head. Niggers don't get cars like this.
oh man,
You know what I mean? That's what really like,
yeah,
really? Like, damn, I'm thinking about how hard my
Yeah.
grandparents came from the South. My
Right.
grandmother, father worked on the farm, like, way deep out, not in Birmingham or Mobile. I mean, way out. I don't even remember the name of the place.
right,
So they come from, like, the real struggle, like, the
Right,
real,
right.
like, and for them to attain something like this is more like, it's like being a king or a queen for them.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So had I just kicked down all their hard work like that affected me my whole life to this
Yeah.
day. Like, still to this day. I'm
Well,
sorry.
but what I was saying is, just look at how we drive. Everybody in here drives. Am I right? Am I correct? Ted, not yet.
Just a little bit.
Every black man drives scared.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever I don't care who you is, you see a cop car behind you, you automatically think this dude gonna find a way, it's gonna be over.
That's so funny. I've been in the car with people who ain't never did nothing in their life. And I'm sitting there like, dude, why is you scared? Like,
Right.
you ain't never did nothing.
Yo,
But it shows they
especially-
scared for
yo,
real. They really scared, though.
I think Jody is less scared than any. I think Jody's still scared, but when I ride with Jody drive like the police ain't behind. Like,
don't care,
Jody
dog.
be on his phone,
I don't
but he
care,
kind of
dog.
be checking the mirror. That's why I know he got still a little fear in him. But he be like, man, I'm about to call this. I'm not thinking Jody. Like, I'm thinking in my head, yo, put your phone down. So I'm like, what- but that struggle, you know what I'm saying? That's the struggle. I think Karen West once said, you know a nigga if he's down with the struggle. By when the police pull up, whoop whoop, everybody like, oh, whoa, like
Anytime, like, the sirens ain't got
My thing though is with me, every time I got pulled over, I just knew a ticket was coming, so I just kind of just don't say much. They're like, "Oh, where are you heading, home?" Like I don't give them complete sentences. I don't beg for mercy. None of that shit. Give me my ticket. Let me drive off.
But the only thing with that is,
What?
Give me my ticket.
Right.
That's it.
Only thing with that was, I think I was raised like my mom's a pastor, so the offsets that and a lot of like whenever I get pulled over, I'd be like Jesus, you know, even though I'm not like superly in the church like I used to be, it's still like, oh God, give me a blessing, man.
Yeah.
Let me get out of this ticket.
It's
like
fair,
you know,
man.
You know, because you know it's coming. You know that ticket
I know
coming.
that
It's like,
this is my ticket coming. I'm gonna go to court, plead not guilty, plead guilty, pay this $150,
Right.
and go on my merry little way.
But like, you gotta, I don't know. I just try to stay calm as possible. Not, I be nervous inside, but like I don't want to say nothing because I don't want no. Did y'all see Fruitvale Station?
I ain't see it yet. Is that good?
Not
I heard
yet.
it was
Yeah,
good.
Ooh, I heard that
I
was
gotta
good.
see
What
it.
is it?
Fruitvale Station.
You gotta see
It's
it.
based on a true story.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah, but y'all gotta go see that. I stayed calm
tells it
even
all.
even before I saw that movie. Like throughout my life, anytime I got pulled over or the cops run up on me, I'm standing outside. It happened a couple times. I just try to stay calm as possible, you know, because I don't want to make any forced move where they be like, well, he did this, even move my arm in a particular way, and you know what I'm saying,
Right,
wind
it
up
did.
laid out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
A friend of mine from New York, man, you might have heard the story from this kind of scene. I can't think of his name right now. It was like in like 98, 99. A friend of mine from New York was he's from the Harlem area, I believe. Him and 2 or 3 of his boys were trying to go to college in a black school. I think it was down in Virginia, I think. They were stopping one in like New Jersey, then going to Virginia to a black college. He was on the highway driving. They got pulled over because he's in a nice car. One of his dudes in the front, he was in the back seat, acting fidgety. The cops shot the whole vehicle up. They thought they was hustlers. They was going to Virginia to try out for a basketball team black school. You know what I mean? Whole arm got shut up. He never got a chance to go to college because he trying to go on this scholarship because he couldn't afford it. You know what I mean? So I forgot where his other boys was from. They was from New York too, but it's like they all got. It was on CNN. He got shot his whole arm. One of his boys got put in critical for a hot second. You know what I mean? All he was doing was going to college. You know what I mean? They tried for a ball team and got stretched up and pulled over and shot up because one dude was acting fidgety. So I mean, what you saying is like dead on. Like, you know what I mean?
You shouldn't either, though.
None of them would hustle. None of them did nothing.
Yeah.
That's the sad thing.
But bringing that, like, I'm trying to bring it in home because when Riley Cooper like situations come up, you know, a lot of people don't necessarily completely understand why black people get so upset, and that's why, you know, I wanted us to tell some stories because when you hear nigger, them stories are automatically, or the emotions from them stories automatically come up. You start thinking about those, and I think, in all actuality, I think I'm not gonna say maturing. I think a better word is healing from all those situations need to come up because, you know, I don't think that word should affect us as much because to me it shows ignorance on their part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, it really does. Like when I heard him say that, like I immediately started laughing.
Well,
like
I didn't laugh. I didn't get mad. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, I understand like the generations before. Like my grandmother would be much more mad than I got.
Right.
She would be mad about hearing it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're more closely related to what was really going on there. So that's why I think with his sensitivity, he's like, I gotta really understand what the impact of my word meant. I don't know if he's ever gonna understand the impact of the word. But I guess in that course they're gonna talk to him about it. You know what I'm saying? So I understand why it's stricken so much emotion with blacks.
Yeah, you know, and like I said, like I hope he don't, you know, not have a job after this because of this. You know what I mean? I don't
think he should lose his job. I was one of the people who stood up and said he shouldn't lose his job over this.
I'm the type of person, honestly, and all the, you know, there was a question on Facebook if how does gay slurs match up to racial slurs and all that. You know, or racial, you know, the gay situation.
I hate when they try to make the movement. There's
like
two
that,
different.
man.
I mean, you know that, but it's way different movements, way different eras of the movements. I just hate when people compare those two.
But Kobe did get Kobe got fined.
Calling the ref,
fined $100,000.
Was the ref or a player? I can't
But you know what? The ref was not a faggot, or gay.
Right.
So probably didn't move him. He like, well,
you know what I'm saying?
after you, Kobe. Like,
So,
you know what I mean? Like, everything like that.
I just think, you know, with the saying, I kind of like, and that's what it had everything to do with me talking about role models. I feel we shouldn't look up to athletes because to me, I think athletes should allow to be be allowed to be who they are.
Yeah, true.
If you don't like black people, and when we know that now, you know, and if you bold enough to say that and deal with all the consequences that come after it, you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? To me, and that goes along with the segregation, and we really didn't. We got time. We can get to a little bit, but there. Did I write the dude's name down? No, I didn't write him down. But it was Cannell. Does that name ring a bell? Ex-quarterback, last name Cannell. Danny Cannell. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he was talking about it on ESPN, where he basically said when he played, the locker room is segregated. He said black people stay with black people, white people stay with white people, and you got a few white people that's cool enough to hang with a couple black people. But he said basically that's how it is in every locker room. And so, like, that doesn't come out for whatever reason. I guess, you know, teams have their sort of privacy, but that's the way of the world. That's how everything is. Everything is still segregated. Still, when you get on a bus, most black people still go to the back. You know what I'm saying? Most black people still sit with each other. You know what I'm saying? You look in a lunchroom, it's usually most black people sitting together, most white people sitting together. The world is segregated, and it's almost like they won't embrace it. And I feel like I don't see anything wrong with it. You know what I mean? I think if you are a certain way, and that's the way it really is in real life, why shade it off?
Well, what I disagree with is the fact, like you said, blacks usually sit with blacks, whites sit with, because that's who you're more comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
But still, if you wanted to sit with the white, you could, or, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or if a black was cool with whites or white was cool with black, they could.
But that ain't even true.
But for the most part, you know what I'm saying, compared to how it was,
Yeah.
in segregation, you didn't have it wasn't no choice. You're not sitting with this white, like, you're not allowed to be around these white people. Or, like, and think about it like Jay-Z. You talk about how he just go triple and quadruple platinum, whatever Jay-Z goes.
Uh-huh.
A lot of white people buy his albums. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, everything being segregated is not even close to how it was. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true.
John, you seem like, Kasim, you seem more like you in tune with don't force it on people, more so than just like not letting it happen.
Well, I don't agree with it. I don't think it should happen.
You don't think it should happen?
No, I mean,
I don't care enough. I'm
on the opposite side. I guess I need to voice it. I think segregation is necessary, especially for black people. And the reason why I say that is because when you look at the rich races of the world, they're all segregated. They keep everything in home. They keep everything in house. You know, you look, businesses getting passed down from family to family to family. That's a racial thing. Because in the black community, we look to share. Let's everybody come together. Let's everybody, why can't white people and black people, we trying to get accepted. You see, even in the Trayvon Martin, we're still, like, even though in that case, and I don't want to get too deep in that case, but from what I hear, there wasn't enough evidence to convict Zimmerman. That's what they say. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. But we still like, we was treated unfairly because we were black. We've been treated unfairly because we were black since the beginning of time.
Yeah, that's true. And that case, in my opinion, still shows that we still are treated unfairly. But what I'm saying is, as far as the segregation, I think that's so major. I think it would be a step backwards. Me personally, that's my opinion. Because I'm just like, what are we segregating? Are we segregating blacks and whites? Then soon, the way it is, well, segregate gays from straights. You know what I'm saying? It's like, are we just?
I'm saying in the racial segregation is necessary because it's already happening. The white people, the white community has already put us where they want us to be, geographically. The projects is for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you find black people moving out in the suburban areas where it's predominantly white, you find white people moving out or doing whatever they can to get that person out of that community.
But I'm saying with the way it is now, that black person, even if it's more limitations, they still have that opportunity to move to the suburbs if they want to. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I think, and like we was talking before in the pre-show, I think, everybody should have a right to do whatever they want to do. That's why we live in America. You know what I'm saying? To do whatever you want to do. But at the same time, I feel that it also should be stressed that it's okay. It's okay to segregate, because I think it is okay. It's okay if I say, you know, us black people, we gonna get together and do something, and it's gonna be our thing.
Yeah,
Because that's what white people do.
Well, I think that's good, but just the segregation. I don't think that would be a good idea at all. I think it would be taking a step back.
Yeah,
I mean, back to the
as far as just segregating itself,
fought for,
it depends on what and how you're talking about segregation. You know what I mean? If you're saying, okay, in our community, we do stuff together, have our pride moments, our festivals, what have you, that's called basically keeping our movement strong. I wouldn't call that being segregating, me personally, because we were forced to do that. You know what I mean? As far as segregation, I don't mind segregation, but when I look at segregation, everybody look at color barriers. I look at black people need to segregate certain ideas. You know what I mean? Certain ideas of education. Certain from the people who don't want to be educated. You know what I mean? It's certain ideas of segregation as far as separating who I'm trying to be based on who I was or who they want to be. You know what I mean? I think segregation is kind of a strong word. I think more, and it means the same thing, don't get me wrong, more separation. When are you going to separate yourself from whatever negative atmosphere or whatever makes you be down? So whatever's dragging me down, whether it be I got 10 friends and 3 of them hustle and they going nowhere. You know, do I hang with them every day and I'm 17 going into my 20s? Or do I separate myself from them because I'm trying to do a different path and hang with them when it's appropriate? So when I think of segregation, I think of color barrier, but I think of separation more so what we need to do as a community. Separate ourselves from the niggers.
Right.
So if I'm a black person trying to be upright and up on things, trying to keep everything as far as society, still gotta have some type of acceptance for us to move forward. I mean, unfortunately, we're not solely in power. So if we don't get whoever's in power to accept us, we can never move forward.
And I think that the problem with that is I disagree, and the reason why I disagree is because if you research statistics, the African American is the #1 consumer in the world.
Right.
The African American buys the most out of any race in the world.
Exactly.
So if there was a re-education of the black person, I think we become that power because we are the consumer. We are the ones spending the most money. I always say,
McDonald's. Are we spending the most money or buying the most items? Like, is it
buying
both?
the most. We
See,
buy the most
that
stuff.
make me see. We're buying the most items. Like, who's spending the most money? I think that you know, I mean, for example, we buying butter or margarine for $1.50. We buy a lot of margarine. They buy butter for $3.75. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's spending the most?
No. But the thing about it, no. When I mean that, if you just watch TV, you look at car commercials. 20 years ago, you would never catch a rap song on a car commercial.
Yeah.
But now almost all of them have it because we buy the most cars. We buy the flashiest cars. When you look at the stereotypical rich white man, he does not care about a flashy car. He might have one, but that's not even his everyday car.
But what I'm saying is still. But think about segregation. It's taking a lot from blacks too. If we go back to segregation.
I don't think so, and I think in segregation that I mean who we cater to.
So do you mean it how? So you're not meaning it how it was.
I'm not meaning a white drinking fountain and a black drinking fountain.
Okay. I'm taking it to.
That's how you take it. Okay, let me back.
Well, I was kind of like trying to figure out where he was going, but I wouldn't think he was going that extreme. As far as y'all can't use our black bath no more.
This is what I mean, and I give an example. When the Arabs come over here, and the Arabs have taken over our community, they control our community. You know what I'm saying? When the Arabs came over here, they said we all gonna move in the same house or in the same couple of houses in the same area. We all gonna open up stores and we all gonna support each other. And what they did was when the blacks had corner stores, they went to the supplier and said, listen, we will all buy from you from all of 10 of our stores if you don't sell to that one black man. And what's that supplier gonna do? He's not gonna sell to him if you got 10 stores. So it was that kind of come in, divide and conquer type situation. They segregate, and they still segregate. They're not going. If I come in and say, "Yo, listen, I got 10 million. I want to partner in with y'all, open up my own corner store." They not going.
But let me ask you this: I could be wrong about this, but don't when the Arabs come over here and like open up their stores, don't they get grants and so forth because the U.S. government owes those countries?
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, they're getting.
U.S. is inviting them in.
Yeah,
They're basically
they're
telling them,
inviting
come
them in,
here,
just
because
like
we give you this,
because
this,
we
and
owe
this,
your country
and then
money.
we'll let you guys open up a store in this
And just like that, they
neighborhood.
do the same thing with the Chinese.
Yeah,
Chinese
absolutely.
do the same thing.
So
How many of those are
But
going to
we're-
the suburbs, though?
But what I'm saying, we're
You know
not
what I'm
going to
saying?
get that because we're.
And what I'm saying is we don't need that. For the simple fact is, okay, for us, we got a small time radio show, right? It's a little radio show, whatever. But we've had over 3,500 people listen to us. Off of the 5, 6, 7 of us giving $20 a month. We've been able to do this. And as we continue to do this, we're going to get bigger, we're going to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's like, yeah, we can take the higher way, but that's the way we used to. We used to the higher way. But segregate this. I'm segregating this to where it's like, yo, it's us. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how I feel. I feel it has to be that way, and to expect the support from our people. And what I was trying to say with the Arabs, it's like in the Arab community or the Asian community is a better example. Their money bounces 18 times between their community before it hits a Walmart or a McDonald's, which means Asian, for example, an Asian goes to the Chinese restaurant owner goes to a Chinese barber, who goes to a Chinese taxi cab, who goes to a Chinese lawyer, who goes, you know what I mean, before it bounces out to Walmart. And our people is like the only people that don't really understand that. It's like we go, I'm hearing there's a grocery store in Highland. Is that true?
Nah. I know.
That's
That's about RTR. You talking about that?
Yeah, is it
That's
a grocery store?
It's not a grocery store. It's like a little food spot. They get a lot of business.
But I heard they got a lot of groceries in there, like.
They got bread. If they got like, you can't go get your whole grocery list from that store.
Right.
And that's what you look. Nah,
But I've always taught my wife, you know what I'm saying, like if we going out to eat, we going to Overdose Cafe, or we going to Richardson's. You know what I'm saying? We go support a black business. You know what I mean? Anytime we can, because I feel like that's segregating. That's the segregation I'm talking about. I'm talking about as far as our dollars.
Yeah, see, well, that's, I mean, in that sense, yeah, it is a positive thing for the black community. In that sense, I was looking at it from the.
No, I didn't mean, yeah.
Then,
I meant from even an educational.
Self-separating.
I believe that it should be separate educationally, because a lot of our children are taught things that aren't true. Like, you know what I mean? When I sat up there and I've taught my daughter, just started teaching her this summer about the fact that the first Africans that came to America were not slaves. We was in America before Christopher Columbus was. Yeah. We was trading with Native Americans before we brought Christopher Columbus here. Like, and I'm showing her this. She's like, really? Like, I never knew that. I said, just because you black don't mean you came here as a slave. Like, that don't mean that. There was Africans here trying to fight to get us out of slavery before, you know what I'm saying? Like, before the Civil War and all that stuff. And the Civil War wasn't about making us free. I taught her that too. Sure. You know what I mean? But that's the education I think our kids, they don't get. They get taught things that we have to deprogram them from, which to me is not fair, because if we teach them these type of values, that you are at the bottom, you're at the bottom, and now you got to fight, instead of teaching them that they're equal when they're really not equal the whole time, and then they get out in the real world and they in an uphill battle trying to fight up. And then now we want to try to teach them some things.
And it also comes to the part where we talked about earlier about good parenting, what you were talking about.
Right.
That with the way society is set up, you definitely have to be a good parent. If you're African American, anybody has to be a good parent, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
African American, you need good parenting.
Yeah.
So and that's a start right there.
Yeah, we're taught from the gates to not appreciate or love anything we do. Or we talk from the gates, everything we do is second, third, and fourth, fifth hand.
Yeah.
So even when somebody do something, it's not respected. Even a little kid in school, and like you said, third grade, like, oh, okay, we did that. Okay, but what's a light bulb?
Right.
What's peanut butter?
Right.
And everybody eat it every day and use it every day. See,
Right.
it's everything we do is devalued.
Right.
And that's the problem, yo.
Boy,
When you devalue everything that you do, you start thinking you know about it.
Yeah.
That's why we don't go to Richardson's like we should. Like I do, I've always have.
Yeah.
It's not for people don't. They say, you know what? Well, I'm gonna pay 75 cents for that, and it's down the street. I'm gonna go to the fish market
Right.
and pay 50 cents less.
Right.
You done took $1 more gas to go
Yeah,
get there.
yeah.
So like,
And that's why I said it's funny. My mom said that.
you make
my mom was
excuses
she
to
said-
not
she
buy
said,
black.
Local grocery stores, they charge more money. I said, but Mom, what's $1? What's $1 difference in improving the lives of your people? You know what I'm saying? Like to me, I could buy some cheese for $2 at Walmart or buy it $2.50 at a local grocery store. I would rather support the local grocery store and pay a couple cents extra.
And my rebuttal with that always been to people is that, yo, the more of us buy into this black-bone business,
He could bring
the
his
prices
price
down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Also, that means having faith in people that sometimes are not reliable. And let's just be honest about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, say for example, you doing a radio show. If you was like, it was $20 or whatever every month, and we're not giving you the 20. It's been 3 months and we still ain't giving you the $20.
Which I don't be giving me the $20.
No, I'll be giving
you know.
you the $20. I got this time I said Tuesday, but I
Yeah.
usually
You
do-
running up a tab, Ted.
I said, they come to a point and be like, man, okay, this week, this first, I need everybody to have a 20. But then you think in your head, like, somebody's not going to have this 20.
Right,
you know what I'm
right.
saying? So
Right.
it's about reliability as well. So you
And
know,
that's a misnomer too, though, because I work with a lot of Caucasians. The same thing happens.
well,
there.
no, I'm not saying that.
No, they handle it different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, they do.
It happens in my, and my job happens every single day. Every
They
single
handle
day.
it
But they handle it different because they know what? That we all got our jobs and eventually it's going to come full circle.
Yeah.
We tend to handle it different, like, yo, I ain't going to see this man again and never in his life.
Right.
But I know he's going to be here next week again.
Right.
So sometimes we handle it different and I may piss him off now. So now next week he come like, man, I got 12 because basically I pissed him off.
Yeah.
Not because he never had it.
Yeah.
Not because I didn't have it, because now he
got-
played me,
see,
made me
that's
feel
the
a
thing,
certain
like,
way.
It's funny thing. It's like, and it's a deep issue because like I consider myself okay. This is my show, so I'm in like a leadership position. And a lot of people sometimes they get in a leadership position, they don't know how to handle it. Like for example, somebody from this show, I ain't gonna say no names, gave me $14 in all once when it was time to get $20. So when it gave it to me, it was just like, okay, I could either get mad, you know what I'm saying? Be like, yo, why you trying to play me? You know what I'm saying? Or say this is $14 I didn't have, and I'm glad they gave me something, and just move on and be done with it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, no.
No,
not-
but that's what I'm saying. I can address that person later, like, yo, bro, you know, you only gave me $20, you know. But a lot of people be like, when they fed up, I'm done with this. Y'all didn't even give me money on time. Y'all didn't give me enough. Y'all didn't do it. And that's the black thing to do.
Well, that's
like,
not
you know
even,
what I mean?
I can't even go by that.
What you say?
I can't even say that's the black thing to do. Because think about it at a job. For example, at my job, person coming late. Whatever. Coming late 3 times. Whatever. Then finally management, white management, gets upset. Like, this dude keep coming in late. They get fed up too. You know what? You writing up. You know what? I'm firing you now. Like, they get fed up too.
But you know
so
what the problem with
anything.
that? You know what the difference of that is?
What?
You had an established business and organization.
Yeah, but still.
A lot of
still
times,
apply.
no, but a lot of times, black people quit based off the ignorance of other people. Which I can blame the fact that I'm not doing a radio show off the fact that he didn't give me enough money. He didn't come on time. He wasn't here all the time. So I can't like the tournament. Like I was just like at first I had that mindset. I was like, see, that's why I don't do nothing in Niagara Falls. Because none of you people here really got stick. I just, now that I sat and talked, y'all all losers. Y'all not good at 2K. So I understand why y'all didn't want to do a 2K tournament. But a lot of people will be like, you know what, I quit. I ain't doing nothing. See, that's why I don't do nothing here. That's why I don't bother with people here.
But this is what I think. That comes about being like people being reliable. Like, and it's not just about reliability, but think about it. You do a 2K tournament.
Mm-hmm.
People that's supposed to be a whole bunch of people, they don't get into it.
Right.
And you like, this is why I don't do nothing. Or people be like, last night at the 3Ms. People like, I don't go out. Because there's always some nonsense. Niagara Falls parties, I don't go to 3Ms. Go to 3Ms, somebody gets shot at 3Ms. This is why I do not go to 3Ms and do not do
Well, that's
Niagara
different.
Falls.
But that's
I'm
different. That's totally different.
It
With
is,
the tournament,
it is.
with the tournament, it's like it goes back to something Jawsey said to me on my first biddy team, and I never forget it. You know, when I came to practice, and I forgot what I didn't have, but I did have something, shorts, sneakers, something. He was like, "Don't make your problem my problem." And I kind of live by that now. It's like if somebody else got a problem, I'm not gonna make that my problem by doing away with everything that I'm doing because somebody else didn't treat me right or
Well,
treat
I'm
my
saying-
situation right.
But the 2K tournament didn't happen
Right.
because a number of people didn't do what they were supposed to do.
But what I'm saying is that's not gonna stop me from doing another tournament.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like easily I could have said, y'all didn't come to the first one. I'm never gonna do another one again. I'm glad I invest the money.
So what's gonna happen if they don't come to this one again? Just saying, they will. But if they didn't, then what?
That's
You
not gonna stop me.
And this,
Well, you ain't gonna do no more tournaments.
I might.
and this one, that's what go back to my field of separation. You know what I mean? When you separate a little bit and you know who is who, because white folks already got this going on. So when they have such situations going on, guess what? They know who to apply it to. I'm gonna invite them 10 over there. Forget them. They already know that they ain't worth it.
You're right.
Them 5 over there. That one black dude gonna bring 4 of his black friends, and them other people. They already have it separated
Jody,
on how to do
remember
it.
what I said?
You know
I
what
said
I mean?
when I do a Madden tournament, remember we was in the
Yeah.
car. I said I'm going to the house where they play Madden at, and I'm just inviting them.
Because
And if they want to invite anybody else, I'm gonna make sure they give me a commit. They gonna give me their money. I'm gonna go to their house while they playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, listen, I'm giving whoever 500, whatever, and I get them signed up. That way, I secure my money. That way, if anybody else want to get in, whatever.
And Caucasian people always look at the target market, like I'm saying, the fact that if Kasim is a Caucasian gentleman, he's not my target market. I don't get mad at him. I look at him as extra.
Right.
See, black folks tend to get mad at anybody on the street that's
Exactly.
black
Right.
who's not the target market
Right,
won't
right,
support them.
right.
And that's another flip side of it from the owner standpoint.
Right.
Identifying your target market and going after them only.
Right.
You know what I mean? Getting them to support, 'cause that's what's going to support you. That's to support white folks. And people in their target market. And once the target market gets the trust from them, the target market spreads it to everybody else and garners trust from other people. Now it becomes, you know what, down there they got them good fish sandwiches. Because the target market believes in what they're doing, their
Right.
product. The target market always sells what your product is. Now, if you don't have a target market, I'm getting anybody randomly coming down the street,
Right.
and I get random results, I get random feedback, I get random advertising from Kasim really don't like fish, but
Right.
bought one because he felt pressure. He don't like it.
And that's the
But he don't even like fish.
when
He
we-
don't
tell
like
somebody
fish.
he ain't like
How you gonna tell
fish?
somebody that my fish is horrible, but he don't even like fish?
And that's the thing with
You know
black
what I
people.
mean?
Black
That's
people
the
say
problem.
black people say I can fry chicken. So I'm about to open up a random store for chicken, and everybody's gonna come because black people love
Like,
chicken.
exactly.
No,
It don't work like
It
that.
don't.
You know what I'm saying? It don't work.
Can't
That.
generalize our people and expect everybody to say, this the market is all of y'all.
Right. Right.
We all wear Air Force Ones. I got shoelaces, all colors. You got on Air Force Ones. You got on Jordans. Why you got none of my shoelaces?
Right.
Because honestly, I don't wear colorful shoes. I just wear the kind that come with the box.
Yeah.
I'm not your target market.
And
You know
my
what I'm
cousin,
saying?
my cousin has a restaurant in the Falls. I ain't gonna say his name or the restaurant, even though y'all might all know who he is. But he said all the time, he said, you know, you open up a restaurant, and he said, I expected that black people would be the number one people to support me. And my outlook
They the
on it
last
was,
one.
when I looked at your menu, you didn't have black people prices. You know what I'm saying? Because he said, well, whenever black people come in, they want the hookup. Yeah, because you didn't make the prices the
But
hookup.
that's what I'm saying.
And if
But
you
think
can't make
about
it the hookup, you can't cater it to black
But
people.
what that's what I'm saying. But that's why you can't knock what your mom said about like paying that 50 cent less at this store than that store. I mean, because
But that's what I'm saying. When people, but the reason why I'm saying all this is because when people do situations, they need to do it smarter. You know what I'm saying? Even with, I'm glad I messed up on the 2K tournament situation because that didn't cost me nothing. But now that next time I do it, I'm gonna do it smarter. And I think that's what a lot of black businesses or black people, we need to understand that, you know, black people famous for making new committees, new little block clubs and groups and all kind of craziness that lasts for 3-4 months and then it fizzles off. You know what I mean? Just like this radio show. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was one of them things, like, I thought at first it was a great idea, then it was like, yo, this ain't gonna last. But it was all about the smart decisions we made as a group to keep the joint afloat. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what a lot of people lack is the mentality of, you know, just doing what it takes to be smarter, to study. That's what we don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's crazy. We went all this whole show talking about this, but
That's
I mean,
okay.
it's
That's
good.
what sports is about right
Yeah.
now. It's the subject is on. You know what I mean?
It's baseball season.
So, you know, that too.
But that is true, like y'all was saying, man. Target audience, who you targeting matters, man. I hate when you like,
Yeah.
well, I expect this to happen because you this. Like, it's people like, well, you my cousin, you supposed to come here. No, the hell I ain't. If you're
Right.
selling jellyfish and I don't like jellyfish, why would I go to your store and buy some jellyfish because you my cousin?
Yeah.
What am I gonna do with these jellyfish?
Yeah.
Nothing.
That's the same
That's
thing
like,
when we
it's the
talk
same,
about,
it don't
we
matter
talk about
who you
artists.
are.
We talk about
Yeah.
artists in Niagara Falls. When an artist came on Intelligent Trash Talk Music saying, why don't Niagara Falls people support local artists? You know, honestly, I didn't want to say it out there on the forum, but it's like most of y'all garbage. Most of y'all trash. And the thing about it is, y'all have no target market. Your target market you don't want to cater to. Your target market listens to like garbage, bubblegum garbage music. You don't make that. You make real music, right? And the real cats, you're not catering to them. You're trying to get the young bubblegum doing real stuff. So it's like, instead of looking locally, why don't you go nationally? You know, why you looking at us? If you want local support, if you want real local support, you will make good music that parents can get behind and push for their children or push for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really want local support, which nobody really wants.
And this is always my quote. I've been around all kinds of music, around people who actually tiptoeing in the business now, people who trying to get breaks, people who want to be in it. It's like this, man. You can't be a conscious rapper without being conscious, man. And everybody
Hold on. I gotta address
Yeah,
something.
smell it on you.
Cause I gotta stand up for my boys on the show.
Okay.
My man Joe Carter just said, so this wasn't a good show this week, and Kasim Richardson and Marv Crittenden was on this week. Where's the sports talk? Not feeling that, bro.
Yeah, bro. First of all, we have basketball, football concentrated show. I know the first game is tonight, Hall of Fame game, what have you. So you know, Dallas and the Dolphins doesn't mean anything at this point. The Hall of Famers that went to the Hall of Fame, although they're great players, they're not the best class in the world. We can all admit that. I like Sapp, I like Chris Carter, but it's not the best class to talk about.
No.
Second of all,
I don't care what's on TV.
this is my man's. That's whack, son. Like, that's whack as heck. I already know what you're talking about coming from that angle.
I don't know if he
You
was
know what I
trying
mean?
to diss us or whatever the case may be. But, I mean, the Hall of Fame, I mean, those, they were something that could be talked about. But we had
Bigger
a
issues.
topic that we're going to speak on this show, and that's what we did. I mean, if you didn't like this week, tune in next week.
And if you want to blame somebody, you can blame me, because I came with the topic that I said we was going to talk about the whole show. The whole show is really talking about, honestly, something, Joe, you can't understand quite completely because you are not of the same race as us.
But think about it, if Joe had a problem, he had the opportunity to call in or Facebook in, other than this comment, and bring up a topic worth talking about.
Right.
You know what I mean? But right now, the sports world, this is what they talking about, bro. So I don't get it.
That's what you get from Heat.
You ain't calling to Stephen A. You ain't tweet Stephen A. and skip and say, yo, you're talking about Riley Cooper too much. So they talking about it all week.
Yeah.
So we talking about it for one show. They talking about it all week. So tweet them and say that, yo.
I can expect that from a Heat fan. That's just all good. But I'm gonna stand behind my boys. You know,
Suspect Heat fan. Let's make sure we make that
Mark
clear.
Crittenden makes the show better. Kasim Richardson makes the show better. You know, and hopefully you was listening so you could be a better father. Not to say that you're not a good father, but I'm just saying everything we said here was to help everybody here, ourselves included, be better people.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I have no apologies for the show. Next week, as long as ain't nothing racially going on in the world, we'll be back to talking sports. But you know what I mean? I think this is definitely needed. You know what I'm saying? I think it's needed that, you know, we make our community a better community. Especially since Joe's a white black boy, ain't he? Ain't he?
Yeah.
So he should be in full support of everything we saying right now.
Who your favorite player? Yeah, you should be supporting the show right now.
Right.
Talk about calling up some, yeah, you know what? I don't understand, but you guys are right. That's what she hear from you. Yeah, from you. Who your favorite player? LeBron?
Yeah.
Oh, also, I bet you LeBron is your favorite player.
LeBron,
it's like,
man.
dude, how much more hood can you get from a dude who ain't never have a daddy who mama on dope? LeBron know that. LeBron know that. That's why LeBron is who he is. And he took the positive out of that and flipped it and made it great. That's what black folks do, bro.
And we just
Learn
trying
that,
to,
yo.
we trying to duplicate it.
Yeah, he made it great, yo.
That's
LeBron make being being a statistic look real sweet.
Yo, we all in
Real
here,
sweet.
we all in here looking like Tuskegee Airmen extras, man, from the
So-
movie, son.
Anybody know that was racially driven, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
I don't know, man. We gotta teach our kids too, man. We can just talk about which shoes, who got on all the time, and who scored these many touchdowns all the time. Because at the end of the day, some of that stuff don't even mean nothing, man.
Yeah.
So,
Y'all heard J. Cole said in that what was it, the money talk interlude when he was like, white man, he said, what was the line he said? White man like, yeah, my nigga, get your money. Basically what he was saying was they targeting us to do that. Like, they target black people to go buy those cars, those jewelry, those chains, that watch, because that's what fancy us. They not saying, oh, go buy that house, you see what I'm saying? Or go in that investment portfolio. They not teaching that. You don't even learn that in high school. I'm like, why am I learning half this crap in high school? I'm like, why am I learning about isosceles triangle? I'm like, when am I gonna use this?
Right,
I'm never about to sit here and look like, that's for a contractor. I shouldn't be learning about no isosceles triangle. Why don't I know how to do my taxes coming out of high school? Everybody's not going to college.
And that's the thing, like that's the crazy thing, even above sports, because a lot of times sports is a pacifier for us. A lot of us, it kind of is weird when you ask when certain big things in the world is going on. Right, a couple channels go 7 channels up in the like you watch Sports Center on 26. Go to channel 32 or 33, and you go see some crazy things happening in the world. When the whole time we watching Sports Center, which I mean, sports is really like that's my love. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, but when you look at it, a lot of times you got to put a lot of things in perspective. Even with the people on this show, we trying to use sports to make money. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it don't stop at just a hobby that we do. Like, you know, you see me on Intelligent Trash Talk sports page talking junk, but at the end of the day, I honestly use you guys as guinea pigs to make this money. You know, and everybody here do that. You know what I'm saying? That's what we aim to do. So just like in everything you do, try to you know, just improve life, man. Like, I don't know. What? I done talk myself to death.
but anyways, you got any questions, any comments, call that in next time, yo. You know what I mean?
Joe.
Face the music, man.
Joe did-
How about
So
you listen to
so
what we
this is-
saying?
This is big. Joe didn't like the show last week, and it got rave reviews. And you don't like it this week, so hey.
He ain't like the show last week? Oh. Guess what?
Well, Joe, you're not about to see
Well,
us argue like loudmouths.
Joe's not my target audience. Joe's not my target audience. He's not in my target audience, so that's understandable. My dad listening, that's all that matters. Yeah, so that's the show for today. I guess to sum it all up, you know, Riley Cooper, you know, what he did was dumb on his part, but I don't think it should have any effect totally on our part, you know what I mean? But I think at the end of the day, if you don't fall under the category of what a nigger is, it shouldn't affect you.
Wait,
You know
my
what I mean?
question though is, wait. Rob Parker got fired for saying RG3 ain't black enough.
Yeah,
He lost his job for that. So why Riley Cooper get this little high horse?
I don't like Rob Parker.
He corny. He is corny. He a coon.
I debated Rob Parker though. He said he is cool. He said he is cool, but that's the thing. Like, yo, he cool. He a tomboy. Like black people is just as racist. That's the other thing that I meant to. Black people is just as racist, if not more racist, than white people. I'm
We
sorry.
racist against our own.
We just too scared. We just too scared to do something about it because we still scared we might get hung, burnt up, or something like that. But we just as racist as white people. We talk about white people just as much as white people talk about us. Just the cameras ain't on. That was his era.
We
The
talk about
cameras
light-skinned
was on
people
him.
too. Light-skinned darts. They got a whole. That's an interracial.
We got problems with everybody, man.
I be talking about light-skinned people.
Come out with an Xbox tournament. You mad it ain't on PS3. You know, black people mad about everything.
Never can satisfy ourselves. I don't
I mean,
understand
so
that,
hey, what are you gonna do? This is Intelligent Trash Talk on KJCM Radio. If you didn't like this show, I do apologize, but I do not care, honestly.
I don't apologize. Tune in next week.
It was needed.
You know, so you ain't got the music queued up, so we got.
It's that we out music.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, cue up a beat or something. No, you can't use that. You already used that.
I queued a new one.
Should have queued up some Ice Cube for him. They probably like that better.
Since y'all like this Tribe Called Quest.
You don't know about no Tribe Called
You're right. I never heard of. I don't think I've heard a song in my life from
Whoa,
Tribe Called Quest.
You're very hip hop deprived.
That's terrible.
Listen, if it's conscious rap, I don't want to hear it.
Bonita Apple
Sorry,
Bump.
I don't go to rap music. I go to rap music.
Bonita Apple Bump.
What is that?
It's got it going on. Bonita Apple Bump. Come on. No.
One of the dopest beats that you listen to that was a different song was came off that.
Yeah.
They took that. A lot of people use that.
Yeah, we still
talking.
Yeah, I really don't care.
But he don't like try. I mean, he ain't.
I ain't say I don't like him. I just said I don't. I don't.
How can you like him if you ain't never listened?
I never said I don't. That's all it was.
One of the dopest groups ever, man.
Well, go ahead and turn that track. I don't want to say goodbye. Goodbye. KJC Radio. This is Badge, Jody, Scene, Montez. We out.